only ordered salad. What do you do? Say you'll Venmo them later. Suggest people pay for what they got. Go to the bathroom. Hope people pay. Wow, that's a pricey salad. Happily split it evenly. Remind friends of your financial situation. Pay evenly, but take the leftovers home. Don't pay, split next time. Don't talk to these friends again. Scream about how unfair it is. Joey, we will start with you. We are looking for the top 5 answers on this board.
People on a budget are going to scream about how unfair it is.
You got it. Scream about how unfair it is. Is that the first correct answer on the board? If it is, turn it green. Yes. Yes. Izzy.
I'm going to lock in, say you'll Venmo them later.
All right. Say you'll Venmo them later. Is that the second correct answer on our board? Did it make it to our top 5? No. No. Venmo did not make it into our top 5. That was your first strike. Now, you still need 4 more correct answers to win the $10,000, but get us back on track. Come on, Joey.
All right, I'm going to go with remind friends of your financial situation.
All right. Remind friends of your financial situation. Is that the second correct answer on our board? Did it make the top 5? No.
Ooh.
Okay. That was your second strike. Now, you can't miss any more. You still need to get 4 more correct answers to win the $10,000. Izzy, get us back on track.
All right. So I'm going to go with, as much as I don't want to do it, happily split it evenly this time.
All right. To stay in the game, happily split it evenly. Is that the second correct answer on our board? If it is, turn it green. Yes. Yes. Bite the bullet, Izzy, and stay in the game. All right, Joey.
People on a budget. People on a budget. Wow, that's a pricey salad.
All right. Wow, that's a pricey salad to stay in the game. Is that the third correct answer on our board? Turn it green. Yes! Yes! Give them some energy, you guys. You guys are coming back. Joey and Izzy are coming back. Izzy, come on.
All right. As much as people don't want to hear it, I would suggest people pay for what they got.
All right. For your fourth correct answer on the board, to put you fellas just 1 more correct answer away from $10,000, suggest people pay for what they got. Did it make the top 5? Izzy! Izzy! That was the number 1 overall answer. Joey, this is one of my favorite moments in the game. When it happens, you have 4 correct answers, 2 strikes, and 4 possible answers to choose from. One of those remaining answers will absolutely get you $10,000. Talk it out loud.
People on a budget. People on a budget. They're still going to talk to their friends. I'm going to say, pay evenly, but take the leftovers home because you ain't got no money left because of that budget. So you got to adapt and keep pay evenly, but take the leftovers home.
All right. For the win, and your 5th correct answer, pay evenly, but take the leftovers home. Is that the 5th correct answer on our board? If it is, turn it green. No. Ah! Unfortunately, you didn't win. Let's see the remaining 1 correct answer. I loved your logic. I loved your logic. Don't pay, split next time. All right. Listen, you're still going home with $1,000. Thank you guys so much. That is it for us, and we will catch you next time on the flip side.
Hey, thanks for helping me out.
Yeah, buddy. This is it, huh? Always gotta check under the hood.
Okay. No.
Need some more to choose from? Shop over 1,500 used cars, trucks, and SUVs at BobJohnsonUsed.com.
Were you supposed to burn that thing?
My hat?
Yeah,
I like it.
I know.
BobJohnsonUsed.com.
I like that.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans. Compare drug coverage. Compare costs. See if you can save. And make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Compare plans now at Medicare.gov.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Accidents happen without warning. In these challenging situations, you're not alone. The Barnes firm has helped many of your friends and neighbors get through difficult times. We fight the insurance company so you can focus on getting better. The team at the Barnes firm will ensure you never feel alone. If you've been injured and need help, call the Barnes firm today at 1-800-8-MILLION.
The Barnes firm. Injury attorneys. Call 1-800-8-MILLION.
Scrambled Up weeknights at 6, only on CW Rochester.
Welcome to the law offices of William Mattar Friday Night Rivals, driven by Bob Johnson Automotive Group. Today, two programs are driving towards postseason success. In the final week of the regular season, the McQuaid Knights travel to Fairport to take on the Red Raiders. Welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. Joe Puccio, Brendan McDaniels with you. And Brendan, these are two teams that are below 500 overall, but have their seeds locked up for the Class AA sectional playoff.
Yeah, these are teams that both had some growing pains in September and early October, but anything goes in sectional play. One of them will get a win tonight and have some momentum going into those sectional playoffs.
Yeah, so today is the last day to iron out any wrinkles. No wrinkles in Thomas Bailey's game so far this year. Our key player to watch for McQuaid, the starting running back, wears number 2.
Yeah, absolutely. He had a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown last week. The only full-time holdover from their sectional championship teams. He's the leader of this offense. He's the leader of this team. They've got to ride his back tonight if they want to have success.
Yeah, McQuaid is a rush-heavy team because of him. Fairport is a dual-threat offense, both running the ball and throwing, because they have the dual-threat quarterback in Sam Roselli.
Yeah, Roselli had 8 passing touchdowns and 4 rushing touchdowns this year. He is really dangerous with the football, and you've got to have your eyes on him at all times because you don't know whether he's going to throw it or pass it. He's a guy that can beat you with his arm or his legs. He's fun to watch, and McQuaid's going to have their hands full with him tonight.
Here's tonight's Ide family of dealerships keys to the game.
First for McQuaid, they've got to protect the football. In their win last week, no turnovers. In their losses, multiple turnovers. They struggled holding on to the football. Also, they got to be disciplined tackling. They got to wrap up these Fairport players at the point of attack. They can't allow big gains. On the other side for Fairport, they got to utilize their size. They're a bigger team, a stronger team, maybe even a faster team. They've got to use that to their advantage and control the line of scrimmage. They also need to control the field as well. They need to eliminate the big plays from McQuaid, get McQuaid's offense off the field, and get the ball back to their offense.
And you know Fairport's really keying in on those keys because the Red Raiders have dropped the last 3, and you cannot lose on senior night. That is a cardinal rule in high school football. It's McQuaid and Fairport coming up next right here on Friday Night Rivals.
After my car accident, insurance offered me $50,000. My attorneys now at the Barnes firm got me $1.3 million.
What's your case really worth? Call now and find out.
Call 1-800-8-MILLION.
Now the plumber, you just finished a tough plumbing job. How'd you pull off the win?
Man, that clog, it was a monster, but, we had a great plan. We brought out the hydrojetter, and we broke through. We don't fumble. Every day is game day. We're just the best in the biz.
Every child deserves a safe, loving home. At Families Thrive, we connect children with the foster and adoptive families who can change their lives forever. On November 1st, join us for the Families Thrive Gala. Together, we'll celebrate the power of family and raise critical funds to support children in need. Get your tickets, make a donation, and help every child find their forever home. Because when families thrive, children thrive.
Don't sell away your family jewels to an out-of-town truck sale that's only here for 1 week. West Ridge Traders is here for you every day, all year long. Best prices, trusted locals, real people who care. Sell or pawn and get paid. West Ridge Traders.
The Amerks are back at Blue Cross Arena. Join us Wednesday, October 22nd, and on Friday, October 24th, it's Sweets in the Sweets Night presented by Pepsi in supporting 1330 charities. So dress to impress with your Halloween best. Kids tickets are just $10. Get them now at Amerks.com.
It's been an epic journey for the superheroes of dirt. And this is the title ride. This Saturday, the world's best storm into Vegas for the PBR Teams Championship.
It's not over yet.
A weekend of all-out war. Winner takes all.
That is how you become a legend.
The PBR Camping World Team Series Championship.
Saturday on CW Rochester.
Here is tonight's coin toss presented by the Allendale Columbia School. The toss was won by the home team, the Fairport Red Raiders. They elect to defer to the second half, which means that the McQuaid Jesuit Knights will start this game with the football. And the McQuaid Jesuit offense put up enough points to win for the first time this season last week. It's a squad that's looking to carry that momentum through this game today.
Yeah, and for McQuaid, they came off a big win last week, and we talked about in the open, they were able to control the line of scrimmage, they were able to eliminate mistakes, and they were able to have long extended drives that they were able to finish. And when we talked to Bobby Bates earlier this week, he said one of the things that was hard was they weren't finishing drives. If they can not only sustain drives, but finish them as well, that's going to be big. And there you take a look at Bobby Bates, the longtime head coach of McQuaid.
Yeah, Bobby Bates, his squad won 21-13 over Pittsford last week. They are now 7th place at 1-6 overall. And Fairport's head coach is Mike Wayne, who's got his boys rolling to a 3-4 record. The Red Raiders started the year 3-1, and they have lost 3 straight to Webster Thomas, Rush Henrietta, and Penfield. His squad is kicking off to the McQuaid Jesuit Knights to start the final regular season game of the year. The BF&R fence kickoff is about to be booted away. Aiden Downs is kicking for the Red Raiders, dressed in all red today. And 2 men are back for McQuaid, including T.D. Jordan, who has to have the best first name that an offensive football player could ever have. We're underway here at Fairport High School. We thank you for joining us here on Friday Night Rivals. It's the man, T.D. Jordan, who gets bottled up right at the 20-yard line. So it'll be an 80-yard drive potentially for this McQuaid Jesuits Knight offense that Brendan has kind of reverted back the clock a little bit. They're running the football more. They're running the ball right up the middle and relying on their top running back, Thomas Bailey, to move the ball down the field.
Yeah, and this is what they had their bread and butter last week, and they found success on it. In years past, they've been able to really mix it up. But in this game tonight, and if they're going to win, they've got to really be a run-heavy team and really pound the ball down the throats.
So here is Gavin Vanderwall, who is listed as the backup quarterback. He's getting the nod today for McQuaid. Harrison Engel, the sophomore quarterback, is normally the starter. We saw both of them warm up in pregame, so maybe we see both of them today.
Yeah, it wouldn't be surprising if we see both of those guys alternate a little bit just to give Fairport a couple different looks defensively.
And the first play is a pass batted down on the defensive line. James Kester, who is one of the top menaces on this Red Raiders defense, swats it down.
Yeah, Kester got his paw up there really quickly, and that was interesting because we thought that we were going to see run heavy. McQuaid comes out with a pass and gets it knocked down, sets him up with a 2nd down and 10.
James Kester is a defensive game record, according to his head coach. Was a second-teamer at defensive end and tight end last year in Section 5. 2nd and 10, and here's the first run of the game that gets swallowed up at the line. The Red Raiders are coming to play early on. A TFL for Jamari Newton. The junior linebacker screams down. Here is the starting lineup for McQuaid, which is brought to you by the law offices of William Matar. Hurt in a car, call William Matar.
You take a look, we see Vanderwall starting at quarterback, Bailey, we mentioned. Erdman is another good one to watch. Charlie Meyer and T.D. Jordan, as you mentioned, the tight end, Johnny Hahn, DeMarco, Harima up front with a nice offensive line, an underrated offensive line for McQuaid.
Knights going empty on 3rd and 11. Vanderwall unleashes. The pass is complete, but just short of the sticks. Pass is caught by C.J. Nicholson, the freshman wide receiver, and it brings out the punt unit, a 3-and-out for McQuaid, which is something that Bobby Bates did not want to see his team do today.
Absolutely not. He wanted to control the clock, control drives, and right there we saw 2 passes in the first 3 downs. Very interesting look, and I think that was because Fairport assumed they were going to come out in a run-heavy offense, try to get them on their heels. That did not work, so now it's up to the McQuaid defense to hold strong here in this first possession.
Colin Forkey will punt it away from McQuaid. Back to return for Fairport as John Russell catches it just outside of his own 40-yard line, and the Red Raiders will start in opposing territory with its quarterback, Sam Rosselli, our key player to watch coming into this game today. The senior quarterback on senior night has his final game here at Fairport High School.
Well, you see his rushing yards, 67 carries, 342 yards, in 4 touchdowns, but he's also probably one of the most efficient passers in Section 5 as well. He completed 76% of his passes in those first 4 games where they went 3-1, and he was completing about 8 yards per attempt. So this is a guy that can do it with his arms and his feet.
12 total touchdowns on the season, 4 on the ground, 8 in the air. Red Raiders on the left hash in opposing territory. First play is a handoff up the middle. Danny Russell, the junior running back, swallowed up just a couple yards past the line of scrimmage. Let's take a look here at the rest of the Fairport offense, brought to you by William Matar, the law offices of William Matar, or the car called William Matar.
So Kester, we talked about him, and Danny Russell will be in the backfield. His older brother, Johnny Russell, wide receiver. Barbita has had a great season. Ryan Sullivan, an outstanding tight end. That offensive line, Patterson and Whalen, 2 of the big guys up front for this big, strong offensive line for the Red Raiders.
And we saw the first play of the game run right up the middle, underneath the center, Xander Vetrov, who is the key piece of the offensive line. A rush to the right side, and it's a TFL. Screaming down from the second level. Jason Cotto, the sophomore, comes down and sends the Red Raiders back to the original line of scrimmage.
Cotto read that play so well right from the point of attack and got the tackle for loss.
Now this McQuaid starting lineup on defense features 3 defensive linemen and 5 linebackers. They can really change things up, bring guys down like we just saw right there.
Certainly that defensive backfield is going to have a big night tonight. Erdman, Priola, Meyer, and T.D. Jordan as well.
3rd and 10 for Fairport, maybe a down and distance they didn't expect. Play action, throw out wide, and it's through the hands, incomplete. 4th down and 10 coming up, a huge stop for McQuaid.
Yeah, that's what McQuaid wants. They wanted an early stop, and that's an important one because they're already in enemy territory to start that play, and so it's a decision time now for Fairport. We'll see if they bring out the punting unit or try to go for it because they're already in McQuaid territory.
On first glance, James Kester, the punter and backup running back, is out on the field. There's Kester. 2 men back deep to return for McQuaid, including Ace Erdman, the top wideout. End over end, goes over the head. Could it be down inside the 5? Looks like it will be. An excellent punt from Kester. Down by Alex Beretta.
So we got a flag behind the play, and I believe this is going to be on Fairport, so we might have to punt again.
The umpire's going over to the McQuaid side, so
I'd imagine that McQuaid's going to want them to re-punt here.
If that was such a good punt, how about go do it again?
Going to re-kick the ball.
Yep, so a false start on Fairport, so it'll be a re-kick opportunity, which really takes away a great punt by Kester right there. Let's see if he can replicate that. And Kester, he's one of those kids. He plays offense, he plays defense, he plays special teams. He's probably going to sell popcorn at halftime. He does a little bit of everything for this Red Raiders team.
Yeah, they got the Vegas Hots going on over at the concession stands today. I was really eyeing up Zweigel's dog pregame, but we decided to stay away from that. chilly night here in Fairport. Temperatures in the mid-40s. It's sectional weather in Rochester. Kester fakes the punt, now puts it away, and it's a miss kick. Definitely not at the 5-yard line. It'll be rolled out just past the 30. What a detrimental penalty for Fairport. Pretty much a 30-yard penalty at the end of it.
Well, it was only a 5-yard penalty for the false start, but as you mentioned, field position-wise, McQuaid just gained 30 yards on that. So now with McQuaid, we thought they were going to be 3 yards in a cloud of dust. We thought we were going back to the Newt Rockne era. They passed 2 times in that first possession with Vanderwall. So now, do they mix it up and do they go run heavy on this possession? And I think we're going to see the starting quarterback, Harrison Engel, who has started a lot of games this year, come out at quarterback for this possession.
Yeah, when we talked with Bobby Bates, he never hinted at the backup quarterback starting the game. And now Harrison Engel, the starter, is in. Here's that Newt Rockne formation. A run right up the middle to Ian Lanahan. Stopped for a couple. And a little bit of fighting going on the far side of the play. Both fan bases are getting a little rowdy here in the early goings.
Well, this is for McQuaid to be successful, they've got to be able to put together possessions where they can chew up clock, keep the Fairport offense off the field, and it might be something like this where you see 3 yards on first down, 3 yards on second down, 3 yards on third down.
Here's the Fairport defense that lost 4 All Greater Rochester team members last season, a very young group that's patching it together. And that defense is getting scorched. Thomas Bailey down the far side. He's into Fairport territory.
We talked about this McQuaid team, particularly Thomas Bailey, out of the backfield. This is a guy that he's a gritty runner. Check this out, point of attack. This is a triple option look. You see him get the ball. He gets to the hole. There's a couple contact, but a big missed tackle right there. And then he's off to the races. And the tackle by Jamari Newton saves the touchdown, but that's a huge play for the Knights.
Fullback Dom Bianchi was the blocker right in front of Bailey that helped get him past the second level. It creates first down and 10, nearing the halfway point of this first quarter. Engel under center. Handoff back to Bailey, and the defense reads it that time. Still a nice run by Bailey. He gets about 5.
Yeah, he still gets 5 yards off of that because they bring the one guy in, they bring Lanahan in motion, and they have that misdirection right there. So it's going to take the defense a second to see who's got the ball. And the thing is with this McQuaid attack, they've got to know where Bailey is at all times, but he's not always going to be the one getting the ball. So they really have to, first, does Bailey have the ball? Yes or no? No? Okay, who else has got it? And that's going to allow them to get some positive yards on these plays.
McQuaid's first drive of the game was a 3-and-out with the backup quarterback Gavin Vanderwall. Starter Harrison Engel's been able to move the ball down the field. Bit of a mishandle, but the ball is given to Ian Lanahan. Stopped just short of the stick. So we're seeing Bailey and Lanahan get the first 2 carries, first 2 ball carriers in this possession. Coming into today, Thomas Bailey has 3 rushing touchdowns. Ian Lanahan with only 1. Third and 2 coming up for McQuaid. Receiver on each side. They give it to the receiver. Lanahan runs off the tackle. Stays on his feet, and he's pushed out of bounds inside of the red zone. A vinyl outlet first down brings McQuaid into the Tim Hortons red zone. First time either side has been in the red area today.
Play on the 17-yard line, so a nice possession. It's been all on the ground for the Knights.
Bailey and Lanahan behind Engel. The give to Bailey, and that problem is solved by the Fairport D. Just like we saw earlier in the drive and earlier in this game, Fairport's defensive line shaking things up.
And Josh Craddock, number 59, he was the one that comes in there and makes the stop. Take a look at this. Again, the handoff comes to Bailey. You see that penetration from that defensive line for the Red Raiders, and they got in the backfield very quickly on that first down carry.
That is Craddock's second tackle for loss today. playing alongside James Kester and Brennan Peterson. No gain on that rush. 2nd down and 10 for the Knights, who scored 21 points in a win last week. Lanahan the give. Bounces between the guard and tackle, and he's dragged down at the 10-yard line, and a flag comes out at the end of the play. McQuaid immediately points to Fairport's side. This could give even more momentum to the black and gold.
Yeah, that flag came from behind the play. So see if there is a hold of any sort in the defensive backfield. So it is on Fairport. They keep pointing over to the Fairport side.
We have a dead ball, personal foul on the defense. We can go half the distance to the goal. Be 1st down.
So, Brennan, we saw earlier in the drive, Fairport and McQuaid, wide receiver DB, going at it at the end of the play. But the refs are throwing the flag on the field right away, saying we're not going to have that in the final week of the regular season. The penalty creates a final outlet 1st down for McQuaid. They've been moving the ball well on this drive.
They've been doing a really great job after going 3 and out on their first possession. They changed it up and have done this triple option offense.
1st and goal. A handoff to Lanahan, and he's tackled just inside of the 5-yard line. Elijah McDouglas in on the tackle for the Red Raiders. Clock moving here in the 1st quarter because McQuaid's doing a great job running the football.
And that's exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to move the football, chew the clock, not allow Fairport's offense to be on the field. We've seen Lanahan with some really nice runs on this possession. They've really been feeding him. So now let's see if they feed Bailey on this one.
Angle gets the snap. The give to Bailey, up the middle, into the end zone for a McQuaid touchdown. Thomas Bailey, his 4th rushing touchdown of the season, and McQuaid gets the scoring started. On an American Custom Exteriors and Interiors touchdown, the home improvement company that cares. That was a methodical drive for McQuaid Jesuit to get on the scoreboard first. Reed Wilson on to boot the PAT. And it is good. What a start for the Knights. They got the ball to start the game, had to punt on a 3 and out, forced Fairport to a 3 and out, and then moved the ball all the way down the field to secure an early 7-0 lead on Friday Night Rivals.
I don't know if you guys are old enough to know this. Okay, there we go.
After a crash, everything can change in an instant. You may find yourself dealing with injuries, medical bills, lost wages, pain, stress, and uncertainty. If you've been injured and need help, call the Barnes firm today at 1-800-8-MILLION.
And we're back here at Fairport High School. The visiting McQuaid Jesuit Knights moved the ball down the field 70 yards on its 2nd drive of the game to take a 7-0 lead with under 4 minutes left in the 1st quarter. Joe Puccio and Brendan McDaniels with you. This is McQuaid's style of football. Running the ball right up the middle. We saw the triple option work. It's like we're watching the Army Black Knights instead of the McQuaid Knights today.
It sure is, and that's exactly what they want to do. They've controlled the first part of this 1st quarter.
A BF&R fence kickoff to the Red Raiders is bobbled to begin things, but Roselli brings it past the 30-yard line and some solid field position after perhaps an early nightmare.
Yeah, and we're just going back to that touchdown by McQuaid. Just a great drive. Everything was on the ground. A beautiful block by Dominic Bianchi to lead the way for Thomas Bailey. 8 plays, 70 yards. Bailey with a 5-yard touchdown run.
The Families Thrive scoring summary for this drive. And even though Thomas Bailey got credit for the touchdown, the man who had the most rushing yards on that McQuaid drive was the backup, Ian Lanahan. They had him behind the quarterback, moved him out from wide receiver into the backfield. Bobby Bates, the head coach, is just drawing up whatever he wants to in this first quarter.
Yeah, he's one of the smartest head coaches in all of Section 5, not just Class A, but all of Section 5. He kept feeding Lanahan, and then Bailey got it when it was important.
Sam Roselli to throw here on first down. Scrambling, looking for someone open. On the near sideline, backpedals and throws it away. The longest play that results in nothing for Fairport creates second down and 10.
Well, you mentioned up at the top, we said he's very dangerous with the ball. You see that right there. He's live. You almost see, like, it reminds you of Josh Allen with keeping the ball, holding it on, hold it on, wait for something. Gets to that sideline. It looked like he was about to run for a moment. He stepped back and just threw it away. So smart play, but you saw he was trying to give his receivers as much time as possible to get open and try to make a play.
Sam Roselli, a tremendous athlete in the eyes of his head coach, Mike Wayne, who was actually the Bills coach of the week in week 3 of last season. He was the Bills coach for the Rochester region. Second and 10 after the incompletion, and it's a handoff to James Kester, trying to find some motion, and he's tackled in the backfield. However, a flag is thrown by the umpire, and it's not a yellow flag. He's got a pink flag, which, I don't know, I've never seen before. Have you seen that before,
I've not
Brett?
seen a pink flag before.
It's tough to see a little bit with the Red Raiders also wearing all red. But anytime that white hat throws the flag, it's more than likely a hold on the offense.
So it looks like they might decline this and force a third down.
With a hold on the offense, the penalty's going to be declined. It's going to be third down.
And a very smart move to decline that, Brendan, because they got that tackle for loss.
Yeah, so as we take a look at this again, so you see from McQuaid, number 60 is getting help right there, and pretty easy call to make.
And that's Devin Harema, one of the top linemen, both offensively and defensively for McQuaid. Not able to do much.
Yeah, Harema's one of those guys that we keyed on earlier, this offensive defensive line for McQuaid that has to come up and make some plays tonight.
Second, third, and long for the Red Raiders today. Roselli trying to make something happen. Throws it down the middle of the field into triple coverage, and it's intercepted. Running up the middle of the field, he's got some blockers to the far sideline. Jason Cotto inside the red zone, dragged down inside the 10. The great start continues for McQuaid.
And Cotto was just playing center field right there. There's only 2 guys that rushed the quarterback. They brought both DNs to set the edge. They were able to put some pressure on Roselli. Roselli just threw it up for grabs. And Cotto comes up with the interception and the huge return afterwards to set McQuaid up in scoring position for their second straight possession.
That is an I nominee for our play of the game, because this just continues the momentum for McQuaid that it fostered last week in its first win of the season. And McQuaid's been able to do whatever they want on both sides of the ball against a record superior team in Fairport. First play inside the red zone, Thomas Bailey tripped up. The Tim Hortons red zone second appearance for the McQuaid Jesuit Knights. Thomas Bailey, if you remember, had the rushing touchdown just a few minutes ago that forced Fairport to get the ball back, and then the pass was intercepted by Jason Cotto right there, number 83. A young center field safety for McQuaid, and he's still getting dapped up by all his boys.
As he should. He played that ball so well.
Triple option formation, the give to Lanahan, runs up the middle, bounces to the outside, and he's tripped up right at the goal line. The junior running back almost had his second touchdown of the season, and it sets up third and goal from the 1.
And that's what we've seen from this McQuaid team in the last 2 possessions. They've been able to break tackles at the point of attack, get those extra yards, just nearly miss getting into the end zone on that play. And once again, now they've been feeding Lanahan. Now this is Thomas Bailey territory. Look for him to get the ball on this play.
Chains reset on first and goal from the inch line. The give to Lanahan, and he's got it. Pushes over the goal line. Back-to-back touchdowns for McQuaid.
No, looks like they're calling him short.
Refs are talking it over right now. We haven't seen any hands in the air yet.
Nope,
and there it is. Touchdown Knights. A brilliant start for McQuaid. as they get their second American Customs Exteriors and Interiors touchdown, the home improvement company that cares.
And this could not have started better for McQuaid tonight, as they've been able to control this entire first quarter.
Reed Wilson to kick, and he punches it through. The McQuaid fans who traveled just chanted, "This is our house." Bobby Bates clapping, and you might think the same thing. With McQuaid up 14-0 on the William Mattar Law Offices of William Mattar Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bob Johnson Automotive.
When you're in the middle of something special, the last thing you want is to lose power. Enjoy safety, comfort, and the power of those special moments uninterrupted with a Cummins Quiet Connect home standby generator.
You ready?
So you can carry on doing what matters most.
Yes!
Cummins.
The McQuaid Jesuit Knights have scored 2 touchdowns in their last 3 drives. And as we take a look at our Families Thrive scoring summary, 3 plays, 13 yards, all set up by an interception. Offense and defense, complementary football so far from McQuaid, Brendan.
Yeah, they've really done a great job. They forced Fairport into 3 and out on their first offensive possession. Then they got the turnover on their second one, and they punched in their last 2 possessions for scores up 14-0. And I think that they've really got this entire Fairport team stunned right now.
BF&R fence kickoff is picked up at the 10, and the return is only 4 or 5 yards. McQuaid screaming down the field to pin Fairport deep in its own end. I mean, just listen to these McQuaid fans. Look at this turnout for the McQuaid fans. They've been chanting pretty much every single play because there's always been something to be happy about.
Well, the one thing you can know about McQuaid, their fans are always very loyal. They're very loud. So they always travel away. You see they got the drum down in the first row, too, to make a little bit of noise when McQuaid's on defense.
Someone's got to have a big enough truck for that. That's not going to fit in a 4-door sedan. Now, when we talked with Mike Wayne, the Fairport head coach, he said that even though McQuaid's 1-6, they're still a good football team, and they have such a rich tradition that you can't overlook them. And he's proven why.
Yeah, prior to last year, when Fairport was the #1 seed, McQuaid had won 5 straight sectional championships, and they did it with a lot of different players.
Roselli overthrows his wideout, Johnny Russell, who was in double coverage.
And the thing is, when we talked about with Bobby Bates is one of the smartest coaches in all of Section 5. He knows how to get his teams ready for games. And what Coach Wayne was telling us is, yes, they've only got 1 win. We get it. But this is a new game. This is a new opportunity for them, and they're riding some momentum from last week, so we can't take them lightly.
Second down snap for the Red Raiders, and they hand it off. Danny Russell has nowhere to go. This McQuaid defense is screaming down. And a late flag comes out. And McQuaid's clapping immediately. This might be another dead ball personal foul on the home team.
Dead ball, personal foul. Number 10, shoved after the play.
Okay, so this is on Johnny Russell after the play. Thomas Bailey had that one stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. You see Russell right there. Gets called for the extracurriculars, and then this sets them back quite a bit. So take a look at, here's Russell. There you go.
Well, you know what? That just might be an older brother helping out his younger brother. Johnny Russell with the penalty. His younger brother by a year, Danny Russell, just ran the football. So not only are you down by 2 touchdowns, but you see your little brother getting picked on, I'd be doing the same thing.
Yeah, but you also got to remember there was a personal foul called on the last possession. You also got to understand how the officials are calling the game, too. He did that against an offensive lineman. I don't know if you want to mess with a defensive lineman.
James Kessler gets the handoff on 2nd and very long. Went to his left, cut back to the right, and he's out of bounds for a solid run. And a first down.
A huge play on 2nd down and 18. It's third down and 18. Gets it around the corner. We talked about missed tackles. That was another missed tackle right there. You see him comes here, reverses his field. He's got a couple blocks out front, gets a little bit of a lane to run, and a huge play for the Red Raiders.
Fairport hasn't gotten much going with Danny Russell, the starting running back. So James Kester just got the ball there. 211 rush yards coming into today, and a team-leading 3 touchdowns. Both backs are offset of the quarterback, Sam Roselli. First down and 10, and before the snap, we've got a flag.
It's going to be encroachment on McQuaid.
Tides are starting to turn here to Fairport after it seems like a majority of the penalties early on were on Fairport.
So this is set up a first down and 5 for Fairport. So now they've got an opportunity to get a little more creative because they've got a first and favorable here.
We haven't seen Brian Barbita, the starting wide receiver, number 1, get any footballs in this first quarter. Maybe that changes now with some breathing room. On first and 5, Roselli runs to the left side, and he's dragged down for a loss, but yet another flag from the far sideline.
This is right at the line of scrimmage. We'll see if this is another offsides on the defense or a false start, depending on what we've seen. It looks like it's going to be a false start on Fairport.
Maybe the officials knew before the game that this was on Channel 13 Rochester. They want to get some airtime here in the area. Both teams have been heavily penalized here in the first quarter in the final regular season game of the season.
So Bobby Bates debating whether he wants to set this at first and 10 or second and 5.
Because remember, McQuaid also had a tackle for loss on that play.
With a legal formation on the offense, it's going to be repeat first down.
So McQuaid accepts the penalty to make it first and 10. That's Danny Russell, the second string running back, coming off of an ankle injury. But the junior's in line to start next season, and Mike Wayne says he has a lot of potential.
Yeah, just a ton of potential. They've had a lot of injuries on this Fairport team this year, and they've really done a great job of these younger guys getting experience and trying to fight through the adversity of getting pushed up into varsity roles that they weren't prepared for at the beginning of the season.
Fumble by the running back. It's loose and scooped up by McQuaid.
Looks like Dominic Bianchi is the one that comes out with that ball. But it looked also like Deshaun Cotto was going to try to pick that up and try to run with it. Bianchi smartly just jumps on that ball and get the possession for the Knights.
It's hard to draw up a better start right now for the Knights.
So just a botched handoff between Roselli and Russell. You see Cotto try to pick that up momentarily, and Bianchi said, no, we're just going to lay on this one. Let's get our offense on the field.
There's an opportunity for McQuaid to go up by 3 scores. Already starting in Fairport territory. Harrison Engel under center. The give to Lanahan, who had the touchdown on the last drive, cuts it outside of the numbers, and he's dragged down.
And a couple nice blocks ahead. Thomas Bailey had a nice block. Krishawn Jordan, number 28, the wide receiver, had another good block to get Lanahan up there.
And that is the final play of the first quarter. And if you're a McQuaid fan, you want to be living in those first 12 minutes for the rest of this season. The Knights jump out to an early start, 14-0 on the law offices of William Matar. Friday night rivals, driven by Bob Johnson Automotive Group.
Colin,
smile over here.
Colin the plumber, you just finished a tough plumbing job. How'd you pull off the win?
Man, that clog was a monster. Toilet paper, roots, wipes, you name it. It was in that line. Defense came out pretty strong, but we had a great offensive plan. Busted out the camera. We even had to break out the hydrojetter just to put a little bit more pressure on it. Most other plumbing companies would have fumbled, but for us, every day is game day. We don't fold under pressure. We're just the best in the biz. True, 24/7 service. Colin the plumber.
Hey Don, did you know that when a contractor offers you special financing, you're actually paying a fee for that?
I did not realize that.
And that fee actually gets added to your project cost.
All right, so what about these Special offers and discounts, are they for real?
What do you think, Don? At American, we're upfront about your financing options, and we don't play games with deceptive discounts.
Now that sounds good to me.
Every child deserves a safe, loving home. At Families Thrive, we connect children with the foster and adoptive families who can change their lives forever. On November 1st, join us for the Families Thrive Gala. Together, we'll celebrate the power of family and raise critical funds to support children in need. Get your tickets, make a donation, and help every child find their forever home. Because when families thrive, children thrive.
In Toronto's war on crime, the worst offenders are pursued by the Specialized Criminal Investigations Unit. These are their stories.
I don't know where to start. The truth is usually easiest to remember.
Your boyfriend got killed and you got caught fleeing the country.
Stabbed multiple times in the back.
I didn't kill her. I loved her.
This was no crime of passion. This was a premeditated murder.
Sometimes the dead do speak.
Wednesday at 8 on CW Rochester.
Stay tuned for the Stellar Roofing Halftime Report. We'll showcase our participating school administrators, first half highlights, and more. Maybe crowd surfing too. I don't know what that's all about, but hey, the Fairport fans are getting into it even though their team's down by 2 scores.
There's a lot of trust in that young man to make sure that they don't drop him.
These are metal bleachers, and it is 40 degrees outside. That's not a good recipe whatsoever.
So what a good recipe. McQuaid, 76 yards of total offense, 16 for Fairport, and Fairport with those 2 turnovers, which is leading to possibly a 3rd score for McQuaid.
The last turnover was a fumble, and so the first play of the second quarter is a handoff to Thomas Bailey, who gets it just past the line to gain for a Cummins generator first down.
Bailey now 7 carries for 50 yards and a touchdown. Lanahan 7 carries, 44 yards and a touchdown. As we mentioned, McQuaid really controlling this. And yeah, we said they have 76 yards of offense, but they've been playing with short fields.
Yeah, this is the second time that they are starting a drive on the Fairport side due to a turnover. The first turnover was an interception, and the last turnover that started this drive was a fumble by the running back, Danny Russell.
They have both these possessions were inside the 30-yard line of Fairport. So you can keep an eye on this McQuaid. The right side of their offensive line has been getting a great push.
First snap inside the Tim Hortons red zone is a give to Ian Lanahan, who is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Danny Russell in on the tackle, making up for the fumble on the last offensive play.
We just mentioned how well the right side of the McQuaid offensive line is playing. That time, the left side saw all that penetration come through. Take a look at that. Russell gets in there. Barbetta gets in there. Fairport had a lot. Look for McQuaid to start feeding it toward that right side of that offensive line. That's where they've had the success running the football.
Danny Russell, the junior linebacker, was a 2024 second team Class AA All-Star a year ago, and he is nearing the 50 tackle mark on the season. So second down and 10 here for McQuaid, looking to make it a 3-score game, and they fumble. Lanahan picks it up in the backfield, and he's still swarming forward and brought down. So McQuaid with a bit of a deep breath, but a sigh of relief. They jump on the football for 3rd and long.
And that's a big difference because we talked about what McQuaid has been killed by all season long is turnovers, those little unforced errors. This time Lanahan's able to get it back. Take a look, it's a high handoff. And Lanahan, most important thing he did was get his hands on the ball and secure the ball. So it was a loss of about 7-8 yards on that. So it sets up a 3rd down and about 14 here.
The head coach for McQuaid, Bobby Bates, said that his number one key for this game today is ball security. Because in last week's first win of the season for McQuaid, the Knights never turned the ball over, and they took down Pittsford by a touchdown. 3rd and long, Fairport fans screaming for a flag, and before a flag comes out, a timeout called by McQuaid. You see Bobby Bates saying, hey, calm down here to his quarterback, Harrison Engel, that did not operate the first drive of the game, but has been in for every drive since, including 2 touchdowns.
And as we expected, has not thrown a pass so far since he's been in here. And a smart timeout by Bobby Bates. The play clock was winding down. He needed them to get this play right because this is a third down and long situation. This is probably 2-down territory here.
I'd like to give a big thanks to our food sponsor of the day, Chick Magnet. You can visit them at chickmagnetchicken.com and both locations at Penfield and Henrietta. If you search up Chick Magnet, just make sure you put the chicken.com after it. That seems to be very important.
It's going to be extremely important. By the way, I had the buffalo chicken before the game.
Yeah, how was it?
Fantastic.
A little side of mac and cheese I saw you
And
had
I did have a
too.
side of mac and cheese too. The only thing I'm sad about is I only had a half sandwich. If I would have had some forethought, I would have taken the whole thing.
So, with this game so far today, Brendan, we've seen that the Fairport Red Raiders are the team that has the better record, right, at 3-4. But McQuaid at 1-6 has had more opportune chances because they've been jumping on the football, and it's turned into 2 touchdowns. What does Fairport need to do here for the rest of the game to get back into things?
They really just need to settle down and relax and get back to their style of football. A stop here is going to be important. They don't want to go down by 3 scores. 2 scores is very manageable. 3 scores is not. So they need to get a stop here. And then when they get back on the offense, they don't need Roselli to do a lot. They just need to stay within their system and take one play at a time.
Whistles come in on 3rd and 14 before the snap.
And a flag is down.
So you saw McQuaid. They had 5 players in the backfield to run up to the ball.
Illegal substitution on the offense. Going to go back 5 yards, first down.
So a 5-yard penalty on the Knights pushes them way back. It'll be 3rd and way long now.
Now they're making wholesale substitutions, and Gavin Vanderwall is going to come in at quarterback, it looks like, here on 3rd down and about 17. 3rd down and 19, excuse me.
Now it's tough to have a timeout and then an illegal substitution penalty. And so because of that, and the reason they're bringing Vanderwall out is because he is the throwing quarterback for McQuaid. He sets up in the gun with 4 receivers and a running back to his right hip. Vanderwall, 3-step drop, runs up the middle, and he's bottled up. Josh Craddock with his 3rd tackle of the game cracks him up the middle.
Yeah, big stop by Craddock there. I don't think that's the play that Bobby Bates wanted them to run. You see Vanderwall, he's got it looks like a big lane to run initially, but all of a sudden he gets swarmed by 4 Red Raiders very quickly, and this sets up 4th down and 18, and they're going to go for it.
We saw Reed Wilson kick 2 extra points, but this would be a field goal of over 30 yards.
When even if you don't get this, you still pin them deep in their own end.
Vanderwall throws to the end zone. Incomplete. Erdman wants a flag. He doesn't get one. It's a turnover on downs, and Fairport catches its first break of the day. Looking for the junior wideout who does not have a touchdown pass on the season. Fairport forces the turnover, and the Red Raiders get the ball when we come back here on Friday Night Rivals.
The colder months are around the corner. Is your home ready? For a limited time, Stellar is offering 50% off the cost of labor for a full roofing, windows, siding, or insulation project. Our team delivers industry-leading craftsmanship backed by a top-tier warranty and hundreds of 5-star reviews. Don't wait until the snow and ice cause costly damage. Act now and take advantage of this exclusive offer. When quality counts, call Stellar Roofing. Proud partner of the Buffalo Bills.
During the 4th quarter of tonight's game, we'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game presented by NHTSA. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Paid for by NHTSA. The red light was out for McQuaid's offense on the last drive. They were stopped on a turnover on downs. And so the first play for Fairport's just a short rush off the left guard.
Yeah, Danny Russell gets the carry on 1st down, gets some decent yardage. And what we mentioned is it's important for Fairport not to press here. Just stay in your offensive system. You're only down 2 scores. You've got the possession. Try to get the momentum back here try to get a good, nice sustained drive.
Fairport really needs to get back on track because they could host a sectional playoff game with a win today. QB sneak up the middle for Sam Roselli, gets a few. Sets up 3rd and short. Right now, Fairport is the 3 seed. If that were to stay the same, then Fairport would be hosting in next week's sectional game. However, there is a huge jumbled mess from 3 to 6. So Fairport with a loss would be towards the bottom of that and towards the bottom of Class AA. Fumble on the reach, but the officials say that his knee was down.
Yeah, he was down.
McQuaid jumped on the football, though. Would have been the 3rd turnover caused. And we'll see if they advance the sticks for a first down.
No,
it's
they're
right
going to be well short. They're going to be about a yard short.
And they do say
here's
it
the
is
play
4th
again,
down.
and some contact right there, and Jack Mansour, the senior, is the one that got his hand on the ball. They're going to say it's a first down. It looked initially like it was short.
The refs had discussed that they were eyeing each other and then advanced the sticks. So a quick snap to the running back, James Kester, right back at the line of scrimmage. The tackle made by McQuaid's defensive lineman, Antonio Darren, the senior.
Yeah, and you mentioned that gap in the middle. You've got Fairport, Pittsford, Aquinas, and Penfield, all at 3 and 4 right now. Aquinas and Penfield are playing each other, so one of those is going to go to 3 and 5. Fairport has an opportunity for win number 4. Pittsford may have an opportunity at 4. So there's a lot of things that need to shake down here. And here's you take a look at how it looks out, and you see that the number 1 overall seed gets a bye, and so from 2 down to 7, those teams are going to be playing next week.
On 2nd down and 10, Roselli couldn't get the handoff, so he rushes off the right side, and he's drilled down to the turf. A loss of 5 for Fairport's quarterback, and once again, it's Darren with the TFL.
Antonio Darren has had a nice game here in the first half. Comes in, you really just see the penetration by McQuaid. You see he's right there. Darren doesn't give up on the play, and Roselli, he's hard to get down, but Darren is able to track him down. Also with the help from Krishan Jordan as well, sets up a 3rd down and 14.
Halfway through the second quarter, Fairport needs 14 for the first down and just to garner some momentum. Roselli play action. 5-step drop, rips it. It's tipped out of bounds, incomplete.
And it looked like he was looking for Johnny Russell, but that got tipped early on, I think by one of his own teammates who thought it was coming to him, because Russell was set up right past the first down markers and would have had a first down had that ball not gotten tipped.
Ian Milando, the senior linebacker, in on coverage for McQuaid. And so once again, Fairport will punt with James Kester. The Fairport side is eerily silent, while the McQuaid side, who traveled well, has been rowdy all day long. Big time punt from Kester. It's muffed, but the return continues. On his feet is Ace Erdman, and he's dropped down right at midfield.
And we're going to have a penalty on McQuaid. It's either roughing the kicker or running into the kicker, so we'll have to check the flag.
And that is
because this could be a re-kick here.
Those are big differences in penalties. If that is roughing the kicker, it gives the ball right back to Fairport.
It was a 4th down and 14. So if it is a roughing, that's a 15-yard penalty. That gives Fairport a first down.
Let's see if we get a call here. Right now, it looks like Fairport's defense is out on the field.
There's no penalty on it.
And so they waive the penalty off. So McQuaid gets the ball right by midfield, and Fairport's coaches are not happy right now.
Well, take a look at this. I think that the flag should have been thrown here, as you've got, you've got that McQuaid player that runs right into Kester and rolls on him well after the punt is off. I wouldn't have picked that flag up. I think that's about as legit of a penalty on the punter as you can get, and you can see the Fairport sideline, they are not happy. They want an explanation about that, but it will be McQuaid ball. You see Kester is down, squatting at midfield. He's back up though.
Yeah, it's tough when you're booting that ball and you get hit in the lower body and rolled over. And now you got to go out and play defensive line. So it's first down and 10 right at midfield for McQuaid. Hand off to Ian Lanahan for a couple, and he gets welterweighted down. A hard throwdown by the defensive line. Tackle made by Brenner Patterson, the 6'3" junior D lineman. Stay tuned for the Stellar Roofing halftime report. We'll showcase our participating school administrators' first half highlights and much more. A lot of those highlights so far here on the McQuaid side. They have forced 2 turnovers and have scored 2 touchdowns. Now they give to Thomas Bailey, who's got some room. Tracked down at the 43-yard line to set up 3rd and short.
And that's what we've been talking about with this McQuaid offense. They have been having a lot of success running off the right side of that offensive line, off the right tackle, off the right guard. You see Bailey got the big gain on there, sets up the 3rd down and short.
Yeah, that right tackle, Joe DeMarco, is one of the top old linemen on the team. The give to Bailey is solved in the backfield. They run it to the left side this time, and once again, Josh Craddock makes the stop, but a late flag. And Fairport's players immediately point to McQuaid. We've seen a lot of dead ball fouls between these 2 rivals.
And this is a big play because this either sets up a 4th down and long, or it's a 1st down for McQuaid, depending on the penalty. And Fairport players seem pretty confident this is going to go against McQuaid here.
We have a dead ball personal foul on the offense. We're going to go back 15 yards from the end of the run.
So keep in mind, they lost 2 yards on the run, and now with the penalty, they're going to lose 17 yards on this play. We'll take a look at it again. The handoff to Bailey is late. You see Craddock gets in there early. Also, Cameron Driscoll in there as well.
Brent, we see a little bit of a tango over at the top of the screen. Just a couple of shoelaces going at it, but that's where the penalty was. So it sets up a 3rd and way long. McQuaid started this drive at their own 49, crossed midfield, and now they're back on their own 40.
So McQuaid on the sideline. They've only got 10 seconds left on the play clock. They're going to have to take a timeout here.
They've already burned 1, and McQuaid's asking for a reset of the clock.
So the official is asking for a reset as well. So they'll get a reset, so they get a fresh 25, and the clock runs.
A mass substitution for McQuaid. And because it's high school football, the defense won't substitute on their wholesale change. 4th and 19, punt unit on the field, and Colin Forkey for the Knights. 1 man back deep for Fairport. Punts away. Caught inside the 35. Dance to the near sideline, and a nice little return by Johnny Russell puts Fairport near midfield. Dead ball fouls, turnovers, and only one side with touchdowns. We'll see if Fairport can answer on the other side of the law offices of William Matar Friday Night Rivals, driven by Bob Johnson Automotive Group.
Every child deserves a safe, loving home. At Families Thrive, we connect children with the foster and adoptive families who can change their lives forever. On November 1st, join us for the Families Thrive Gala. Together, we'll celebrate the power of family and raise critical funds to support children in need. Get your tickets, make a donation, and help every child find their forever home. Because when families thrive, children thrive.
Tonight's closed captioning is exclusively brought to you by Colin the Plumber. Fairport's cheerleaders trying to get something going for the Red Raiders. They have an opportunity to double dip. With just about 3 minutes left here in the first half, the Red Raiders deferred the opening coin toss to the second half. They have the football now. After forcing a punt, they can tie up this game in about a half hour. Brendan, we'll see if they can do it.
Right, but they just haven't really been able to get much going offensively. They haven't been able to get a rhythm, so we'll see if they can get into some type of offensive rhythm here.
And that's a good start. A throw to the near sideline, caught by Joshua Ippolito, the sophomore running back. A tackle made by Jason Cotto, the defensive back who has an interception and a fumble recovery today. Gain of 8 on that first play. Clock is frozen. Roselli to throw again. Throws to the strong side. It's caught for a first down at the 45 and tackled at the 44. Nice catch by Johnny Russell. And that sets up a Cummins home-powered Generators first down.
And now you see them getting into a little bit of a rhythm. They got 8 yards on first down. They got about 6 yards on second down. Move the chains, keep the clock moving. And as you mentioned, if they can double dip, that's huge. Try to get a score here with about 45, 30 seconds. Don't give McQuaid a lot of time to get the ball back or do anything on the offensive end. And then you get the ball coming out of halftime with an opportunity to potentially tie the game.
That was Johnny Russell's 50th catch of the season. On first down, they throw to the running back Ippolito again, and it's dropped. Cotto there to make the stop. He's a little banged up on the play. That'd be a tough loss for McQuaid. And whistle stop play.
Yeah, and he's slow to get up.
Jason Cotto, a sophomore defensive back. We talked about all the plays that he's made today. That would be a drastic loss right now for the Knights, who, Brennan, have really been able to stop the Fairport Red Raiders in their tracks in pretty much every single drive so far today.
Yeah, this is the thing. We talked about McQuaid. They struggled with turnovers. They turned the ball over a lot in the games that they lost. They didn't turn the ball over last week. They won the game. Tonight, they've been taking advantage of getting turnovers, and that has been something that's been big for McQuaid. That's how they got the 14-point lead. Now, can they sustain it? That's the thing. They have not played a lot with a lead this season. Last week was the only time they played with a lead. Can they sustain a lead in this game tonight? As Cotto goes to the sideline, that's a big loss for them if he can't come back in this game. He's running off, so that's a good sign. But now you see this Fairport offense. They've got a little bit of rhythm here. Let's see if they can maintain it.
First down and 10 with 2:43 to go. A catch by Roselli at the 40-yard line. Gain of about 5 and a late bring down by the two defensive backs for McQuaid in Charlie Meyer and T.D. Johnson. No flags on that one to set up third down.
But this is what they're doing. Just a nice, simple, methodical offense. Every pass we've seen, just nice, simple out patterns. 4 or 5 yards and out. Get the ball, see if you can turn it upfield and create something positive with those yards. And again, we talked about 2-down territory. This is 2-down territory right now. We got third down, potentially fourth down if they don't get this first down here to try to keep the chains moving.
7 in the box for McQuaid on 3rd and 5. Roselli the pump fake. Throws to the seam. It's caught. Russell for the first down.
Johnny Russell gets the first down once again. And you see that rhythm. You see Roselli. He's starting to feel it now.
That Cummins home power generator first down, once again done by the arm for Roselli. Coming into this game, we said he was more of a runner, and the game script has kind of flipped right on its head that Fairport has to ask for Roselli to use his right arm more.
Right, but they're not asking him to do too much. Mike Wayne, who designs the offense, is not asking him to do anything that he can't do. Just nice, simple pass plays and move the chains.
Roselli scrambles up the middle, and he's dodged off his right side. Tackled at the 25. The stop made by Joseph DeMarco.
So again, they're getting positive yards here. He gets 3 yards on first down, sets up a 2nd and 7, where they can do a couple different things here. They can put a run play in here. They can put a couple different pass ideas here. This is an advantageous down and distance for them.
4 receivers set for the Red Raiders again. This time a handoff up the middle to Danny Russell, who gets to the second level and not anywhere further.
I think forward momentum is going to get him to about the 22-yard line only. And I believe we're going to get a timeout by Fairport.
Fairport has all 3 of its timeouts, so they burn one after running the football. which is Fairport's bread and butter. Not as much so for McQuaid, that runs the triple option offense. But Fairport normally runs the football, try to do it a lot early in the game, but as you said, right, it's about using Sam Roselli's arm right now. And you mentioned how it's just very simple game planning. This offense by Mike Wayne, and just him having that sense to shorten the game a little bit, could definitely help Fairport.
Absolutely, Ken. And Mike Wayne was an outstanding quarterback here in Section 5. He played quarterback at St. Lawrence University, a Division III school up north. He knows the position. He knows his quarterback skill set. He knows what he can ask him in these type of situations. So it helps them out that they've got a head coach who's played the position, knows exactly what needs to be done here. And as we mentioned with Roselli, they're not asking him to do too much. Nice, simple out patterns. You saw the one pass that he had downfield on third down. This sets up a 3rd down and 5. You've got 2 plays to gain 5 yards. You've got 1:15. You've got 2 timeouts left. Everything is in favor of Fairport right now. They've got to figure out how to cash this ball in.
The senior quarterback, Sam Roselli, his 2nd year as the starter for the Red Raiders. The only real key player they lost on offense last year was Bailey Frank, who is now a running back at St. Francis. So it's a unit that has a lot of cohesion. 3rd and 5, similar formation with 4 receivers. Roselli, the snap, looks to the left, pump fakes, scans to his right, no real pressure, throws left side, caught! Russell inside the red zone, dragged down at the 10. What a play by Sam Roselli to keep it alive and move the sticks for another Cummins generator first down.
The patience of Roselli right there to not force the ball way to his receiver is open, and he got Russell on a first down. Take a look at this again. Well, we're not going to have a chance to see it because they're moving pretty
here
quickly.
It is now. It's an iDealerships Play of the Game nominee, and maybe this one will be as well. Roselli on the option, flips it back, and it's stonewalled. Thomas Bailey, the linebacker, comes screaming in for a TFL. And another timeout here by Fairport.
Yeah, first down, they try the option, and I thought maybe Roselli would be better off keeping that ball and turning it upfield. He flips it to Roselli, but Thomas Bailey smartly played the pitch man and gets the tackle. Take a look at this again. Here's Roselli, and he quickly pitches that, and Thomas Bailey right there, and we mentioned he's a guy that plays both ways. He's so good as a running back and a linebacker as well. That's a nice open field tackle by the senior Thomas Bailey.
Thomas Bailey is McQuaid's leading tackler coming into today with 76 of them. He also has 6 tackles for loss, 2 passes defended, and 3 forced fumbles. He really does it all. In the open, we talked only about his offense, but defensively, he's arguably the best player on this Knights front.
Yeah, he absolutely is. And we've seen McQuaid. They've had these guys before, these great two-way players. And Bobby Bates and his staff, they do such a good job of developing really the old school Ironman football players that are able to play both sides of the ball and play some special teams as well. You don't see that a lot at Class AA. You usually see guys, they're just offensive players, just defensive players. But both these teams have really solid, good two-way players.
So after the timeout, it is 2nd down and 11. Empty set. What can Roselli do? Throws to the right side. It's incomplete. Johnny Russell fell running out of his route. And it creates 3rd down and 11 after the incompletion.
Yeah, Roselli was looking for Russell the entire time and was locked in on him. And as Russell came out of his break, he slipped and wasn't able to get his footing. And by the time he looked up, the ball was already by him. So now it's 3rd down and 11. And again, they've got some options. There's 2-down territory. They've got 2 downs to get this first down. They've got 2 timeouts left, so they've got some options here.
The McQuaid fans are beating the drum to create some noise on this 3rd and long. Fairport gets the ball out of halftime. So an opportunity for the Raiders to double dip. Roselli's got it. Fade ball to the end zone. Caught! Back corner touchdown. Flag comes out from the backside. For the moment, it's 6 points for Fairport, but the Red Raiders aren't celebrating too hard.
Now, because McQuaid is calling for an offensive pass interference. They're calling for a push-off. So we'll have to see what they end up calling here, because the play stands as a touchdown. But did Russell push off in order to get himself some extra space? Looks like it's going to be against
Pass
McQuaid.
interference on the defense. The penalty is declined. That's a touchdown.
Johnny Russell picks up his 6th American Custom Exteriors and Interiors touchdown of the season. The home improvement company that cares. They play the horn for the first time here at Fairport High School today, as the Red Raiders are on the board with 35 seconds left in the first half. Aiden Downs' PAT is blocked. It remains an 8-point deficit for Fairport, and it changes things a little bit with the Red Raiders now needing 2 on their next touchdown.
But most importantly, Fairport gets the touchdown. We mentioned, Joe, we said you need to score, and you need to score between 30 and 45 seconds on the clock so you don't get an opportunity for McQuaid to get too much offensively on this possession coming up. So here's the touchdown again. You see Roselli dropping back, and you see, there you go, there's the pass interference right there by Wyndham. And Russell did not push off. There's a little bit of hand fighting there. He smartly kept his ground, got the touchdown, and a nice scoring drive, 10 plays, 56 yards. Russell with that huge 13-yard touchdown reception.
That drive summary is brought to you by Families Thrive. Johnny Russell with his 42nd catch of the season. His head coach Mike Wayne, before the game today, called him a dog. You just saw why on that last touchdown catch.
Yeah, he's a kid. He just makes plays, whether he's on offensive end, defensive end, returning kicks. He's just out there making plays for the Red Raiders.
A much-needed touchdown for the Fairport Red Raiders, who currently sit 3rd in the Class AA standings of Section 5. Fairport in last place, trying to pull off an upset in the final week of the regular season. Here's the BFR Fence kickoff return, and it's not much. T.D. Johnson keeps pushing forward. It's actually outside of the own 25 now. That was a 7-yard tush push by McQuaid to set up shop just outside of their own, or just inside of their own 30. But with 26 seconds left here in the first half, Brendan, it seems like it might not be enough time for McQuaid's triple option offense to go down and score.
No, my guess is that they're going to run this and just go into halftime. Johnny Russell, by the way, 5 receptions, 45 yards, and a touchdown, all on that drive alone. Roselli, 6 of 12 passing, 53 yards, and a touchdown so far.
So Fairport finally got the offense going to cut it down to a touchdown and 2-point conversion deficit. Kneel down from Harrison Engel will more than likely run out the clock here in the first half, as McQuaid is now huddled up on the far sideline, and that will do it for the first half of play. McQuaid led 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. Both teams possessed the ball, both teams punted, but it was that final 3:24 drive for Fairport that got them in the scoreboard and back in this game.
Yeah, really, I mean, McQuaid dominated really the first 3 quarters of that half with getting the turnovers on defense, getting those first 2 touchdowns very quickly. But Fairport was able to figure out a way to get a touchdown, pull this to make it a 1-score game. And as we said, they come out with the ball in the second half. If they can come out and score in the second half, we got a brand new ball game. It's going to be a very, very interesting first possession in the second half for both of these teams, because Fairport's going to need a score and McQuaid's going to need a stop.
We are now joined by McQuaid's head coach, Bobby Bates, down on the field. Bobby, I know your defense just gave up a touchdown there, but 2 turnovers. What have you liked from that unit?
Oh, I mean, they're playing great. We're tackling a heck of a lot better, and they're flying around to the football. We had a nice interception earlier in the half, and no, they're playing great. And just keep it up, keep this thing rolling. Really impressed with what they're doing there on defense.
And, Coach, on the offensive side, you got to be impressed with the push your offensive line is doing, particularly your right tackle, right guard. They've really been setting the tone on that right side on those run plays.
No doubt, and they're doing a good job, and they're kind of buying into that philosophy of what we're trying to do there. like to see us hit a couple more seams on that offensive push there. But Fairport's got a great defense, and they're bottling some things up too. So we got to make some
Bobby,
adjustments
thanks for
right
the time.
now.
We appreciate it.
No problem.
That is the head coach, Bobby Bates, of the McQuaid Jesuit Knights, who lead 14-6 at the end of the first half. But our halftime show is just starting. It might be the McQuaid mascot fighting everyone in the concession line.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs.
Saturday on CW Rochester.
Welcome back to Friday Night Rivals and the Stellar Roofing Halftime Report. Time now to introduce you to this week's Scholar Athletes. Jack Mansour is McQuaid Jesuit Scholar Athlete selection. Jack is a varsity football captain, and his athletic participation includes lacrosse, basketball, wrestling, and rugby. He's also an executive council member, admissions ambassador, and youth camp instructor. And Aaron Allison is this year's nominee from Fairport. Aaron is girls varsity tennis captain and is a participant in 7 different school clubs, including the math team and medical explorers. She's also passionate about dance. Aaron plans to study biochemistry in college. The Scholar Athlete program recognizes students who achieve both on and off the field. At the end of the season, one winner will be selected to receive a $5,000 scholarship to the school of their choice. The first half is in the books here at Fairport. Right now, the cheerleaders are being honored here on senior night, and the Fairport Red Raiders trail 14-6 to McQuaid on the law offices of William Matar. Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bob Johnson Automotive Group.
Always stop when the stop arm is out. Don't be the reason they miss their moment. Stop means stop.
Colin, smile over here. Colin the plumber, you just finished a tough plumbing job. How'd you pull off the win?
Man, that clog was a monster. Toilet paper, roots, wipes, you name it. It was in that line. Defense came out pretty strong, but we had a great offensive plan. Busted out the camera. We even had to break out the hydrojetter just to put a little bit more pressure on it. Most other plumbing companies would have fumbled, but for us, every day is game day. We don't fold under pressure. We're just the best in the biz. True, 24/7 service. Colin the Plumber.
When you're in the middle of something special, the last thing you want is to lose power. Enjoy safety, comfort, and the power of those special moments uninterrupted with a Cummins Quiet Connect home standby generator.
You ready?
So you can carry on doing what matters most.
Yes!
Cummins.
When it comes to home improvements, you need a company you can trust. That's why I turn to American Custom. They're honest, affordable, and always get the job done right. Whether it's roofing, siding, windows, or remodeling, American Custom has the expertise to transform your home using solid materials to make everything look brand new. American Custom is your trusted partner for all your home improvement needs. Call American today for a free estimate.
On the Stellar Roofing halftime report, McQuaid up by a touchdown and 2-point conversion over Fairport. Lots of highlights in this one, but let's take a look at what's going on around the country in our highlights of both Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals.
The best Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country.
Ellie got to quit celebrating and get back ready for a fourth down play.
Yeah, they were trying to hook and ladder, but he didn't have time. They got the board. They got the board. That's going to be a touchdown. Touchdown, Jacob Boyd. Inside the 10. What a touchdown. What a play. What in the world? Westwood with a touchdown on a hope and the prayer is answered.
Beachy. Can he get the corner turn? He does. Here's that speed. And he's still on his feet. To the 20. Stiff arm. To the end zone. Touchdown.
Pump fake. Throws. Goes deep. And what a catch on the far side. Oh, what a catch by Orioso. They will call it.
Heavy pressure. Throws it downfield to the middle of the field. What a catch. Coming up and grabbing the ball. Maddox.
55-yard field goal from the left hash. The kick is up, and it's gone at the buzzer. Bryant for the Buccaneers, and the Hoover Met goes haywire. Wow! Unbelievable! Wow!
What a kick. 50-plus yards to win it. Some all-star plays and our all-star truck. Yeah, go ahead and wave. Say hello. You guys all deserve to get out and wave. We're continuing here on halftime. First half highlights here in Rochester coming up after the break.
This is the 2026 Nissan Rogue. With a 12.3-inch touch display, it's the most powerful Rogue ever, and has 225 pound-feet of torque. That's a lot of torque. Go Rogue in the 2026 Nissan Rogue. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality. Now get a low $239 per month lease, or get 1.9% APR financing for 60 months on Rogue.
Companies say they're local. Right in Syracuse, Comfort handcrafts the most efficient windows in New York. Built tough to perform where we live. We're proud to be New Yorkers, to make quality windows for your home. Comfort employs more of our neighbors to install them than any other company. That's being local.
Upgrade now and save 10% with 0% financing and pay nothing until your project is installed.
All from the name you know, the people you trust. Visit comfortwindows.com and schedule your free estimate today.
Every child deserves a safe, loving home. At Families Thrive, we connect children with the foster and adoptive families who can change their lives forever. On November 1st, join us for the Families Thrive Gala. Together, we'll celebrate the power of family and raise critical funds to support children in need. Get your tickets, make a donation, and help every child find their forever home. Because when families thrive, children thrive.
KCW.
Let's have a little fun.
Good time.
Welcome back to the Stellar Roofing Halftime Report. We're almost ready for second half action in which the Fairport Red Raiders get the football, trailing by a touchdown and 2 points. Joe Puccio and Brendan McDaniels with you. And Brendan, this was a first half early on, really dominated by the McQuaid Jesuit Knights as we take a look at our first half highlights.
Yeah, McQuaid coming off their first win of the season really jumped out early. A couple big runs. See Thomas Bailey break a couple tackles. Chips, this is off their second drive. Did a great job there, and he's going to cap this off with a 5-yard touchdown run as McQuaid went up 7-0. And then on the next Fairport possession, the pass is intercepted by Jason Cotto, and Cotto runs this one back deep into Fairport territory, and he finally gets tackled around the 10-yard line, and this sets up the Ian Linehan 1-yard touchdown run. McQuaid goes up 14-0 after the first quarter, and another miscue as a fumble on the play, and Bianchi recovers the fumble, but McQuaid wasn't able to capitalize on it. And then right before half, you see McQuaid trying to preserve that 14-0 lead. Bailey with a big stop, but Rosselli to Russell for the touchdown. The extra point was blocked, so it makes it 14-6. You take a look at our stats. McQuaid, 92 yards of total offense. Fairport, 77, but a lot of that was on that last possession. Penalties about the same, but you see, Joe, those 2 turnovers for Fairport, that really set the tone for McQuaid to take this lead.
Yeah, that turnover margin should definitely be highlighted. And McQuaid with 92 yards, they've had 2 drives that resulted in touchdowns that started in Fairport territory. So McQuaid's offense is humming along. Fairport's offense was cooking towards the end of the first half. And just like we mentioned, they'll get the ball when we come back. Our final break here in the halftime report, which is brought to you by Stellar Roofing. Second half action is coming up right after this on the law offices of William Matar Friday Night Rivals, driven by Bob Johnson Automotive Group.
This isn't how any season is supposed to end. Always stop when the stop arm is out. 1 second can save a lifetime of pain.
Your home, your sanctuary, protected with the perfect fence. At BF&R Fence, we specialize in high-quality commercial and residential fencing that enhances the beauty and security of your landscaping. Whether it's privacy, safety, or simply adding curb appeal, we've got you covered. Durable, custom-built, and designed to last. Give your property an uplifting makeover with BF&R Fence. Contact us today for your free estimate. Your home and business deserve the best.
Colin, smile over here. Colin the plumber, you just finished a tough plumbing job. How'd you pull off the win?
Man, that clog was a monster. Toilet paper, roots, wipes, you name it. It was in that line. Defense came out pretty strong, but we had a great offensive plan. Busted out the camera. We even had to break out the hydrojetter just to put a little bit more pressure on it. Most other plumbing companies would have fumbled, but for us, every day is game day. We don't fold under pressure. We're just the best in the biz. True, 24/7 service. Colin the plumber.
The colder months are around the corner. Is your home ready? For a limited time, Stellar is offering 50% off the cost of installation for a full roofing, windows, siding, or insulation project. Our team delivers industry-leading craftsmanship backed by a top-tier warranty and hundreds of 5-star reviews. Don't wait until the snow and ice cause costly damage. Act now and take advantage of this exclusive offer. When quality counts, call Stellar Roofing. Proud partner of the Buffalo Bills.
Second half about to get going here at Fairport High School. The Red Raiders trail 14-6 to McQuaid. Right now we are joined with the head coach of the Fairport Red Raiders, Mike Wayne. Mike, what did you tell your team in the halftime locker room?
I'm sorry, you cut out there.
I said, what did you tell your team in the halftime locker room?
Nothing. It's kind of, we got to focus on the next play, the next half that's in front of us right now. Stop putting ourselves in bad positions on the field. No more silly penalties, and we got to start winning the field position battle, or it's going to continue to be a long night. They're doing a good job with their offense, and our defense kind of has to settle in. And once we're able to do that, I think we got a good chance here.
And Coach, your offense, they really got in a rhythm at that last drive. Are you going to continue to feed the ball to Johnny Russell, because he did a great job in that last drive?
That'll be a good idea, huh? Yeah. I think just trying to get it going, yeah.
All right, Coach. Hey, thank you for the time. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
So, Joe Puccio, Brendan McDaniel's with you here as we're getting ready for the second half of action. How important was it for Fairport, I should say, to get that touchdown at the end of that first half, because now they get the football back?
Well, that's why, because it's huge, because now they have the ball with an opportunity to tie this game up. If they tie the game up, they're going to have all the momentum, because remember, McQuaid was dominating this game for the first part, and McQuaid kind of took that momentum right in the locker room. If they can come out and get a touchdown here, it's a brand new ball game. So this is a huge possession for both sides. If McQuaid can come up with a stop on this first possession, that's going to bode well for them to get the momentum back. And so let's see if Fairport comes back with that nice, simple passing game. They really fed Johnny Russell on that drive, and no matter who McQuaid put on him, they couldn't defend him. It was just nice, simple out patterns every single time. And
Johnny Russell has been the only receiver that has had a reception in this game. A running back, Joshua Ippolito, was targeted on that final drive of the first half, but it was really Sam Roselli to Johnny Russell that allowed Fairport to get that first touchdown of the game. The Fairport Red Raiders are predominantly a running team. James Kester and Danny Russell, both with drives of their own, running the football. But McQuaid's defensive line and second level really showed up in that first half, and they'll have to do the same here as we start the second half here at Fairport High School. The BFR and fence kickoff will go from left to right. Booting it down the field for McQuaid is their punter, Colin Forkey. And two men are back deep to return for the Red Raiders. Here we go. Final 24 underway in Fairport. Return starts at the 10 by number 10. Johnny Russell cuts it back to the near sideline, and he's got some room. Cuts it up the numbers at the 50-yard line, stumbles, and is brought down inside McQuaid territory. Excellent start for Fairport. They'll begin at the Knights 45.
So we take a look at this run back. He gets a great hole to run in. An I Dealership's Play of the Game nominee. You see the pursuit right there. He's able to get that lane. And watch this. As soon as he starts getting swarms, he's going to put that second hand on the ball. Make sure that he does not cough that ball up. A beautiful kick return by the senior Johnny Russell. He was the Week 2 Section 5 Defensive Player of the Week. Might get Special Teams Player of the Week with a run back like that.
And he might get Offensive Player of the Week if he can catch another touchdown like we saw at the end of the first half. Sam Roselli, the shotgun snap, throws it to Russell, caught at the 40, takes a lick as he steps out of bounds. Gain of about 6 or 7 on the play, sets up second and short.
Well, we asked Mike Wayne just a moment ago, are you going to keep feeding Johnny Russell? And what did he say to us? Yeah, it's a good idea. Sometimes you don't have to overcomplicate offense. Keep feeding the guy until they stop him, and then try something else, because this play is working. It's just a nice, simple out pattern every single time. And we've got a flag down in the field that came very late. So I think this is going to be a sideline warning against McQuaid. So yeah, they're signaling sideline warning.
Coach is saying, yeah, we got it. We're good.
Yeah, coach saying, no, we're good. We got it. We got you.
Warning.
So it's just a warning. No yardage on or no penalty really, just a warning. Fairport, a 5-yard play on the first play of the second half. Sam Roselli to Johnny Russell, who is in single coverage on the near sideline. Handoff, Danny Russell runs off right tackle and he's swallowed up.
Thomas Bailey there once again, and he's had a huge game on both sides of the ball.
The leading tackler for McQuaid, Thomas Bailey, nearing 80 tackles on the season.
Yeah, he's really playing at an all-star level this season on both sides of the ball. So it sets up a third down and about 5. Let's see if they go back to Russell on that little out pattern for 5 or 6 yards.
No safety help on the corner. Deshaun Cotto, who has an interception today. Roselli to throw. Backpedals. At the F at midfield. Still making a play. Roselli scrambles. Gets the first down and steps out of bounds. What a play. A vinyl outlet first down. Improbable to possible to reality.
I think every Fairport coach had a heart attack on that play looking for Roselli to throw the ball. He had some guys open down the field. He chose not to uncork it, and he's able to turn the side. And you see, he gets by that D lineman, and he gets out of bounds after the first down. That was a big boy play right there.
When Fairport needed it the most, its quarterback came up in a massive spot. Now a handoff inside Danny Russell for just a couple. Sam Roselli, in the eyes of his head coach, Mike Wayne, is a tremendous athlete, and he's dangerous. We saw that dual threat, dangerous action on that last play by Roselli. And you said it, right? A lot of coaches on the Fairport side, even a lot of fans are saying, hey, just get rid of the ball, or don't turn it over. Roselli tucks and runs, keeps this drive alive, and a drive in which the Red Raiders can tie the game.
Yeah, he probably ran about 40 yards total between running back, sideways, left and right, finally to get the first down.
Shotgun snap, uncorks it deep, overthrown. Oh, he had Johnny Russell if it was just a touch shorter.
Well, and Russell lost it for a moment, and he slowed down. If he had kept his stride, he probably makes that play, but he got himself twisted around and couldn't figure out where the ball was. Could have been a golden opportunity for the Red Raiders there. So take a look at it again. Little pump fake by Roselli, and here you see he looks up and right before the camera angle gets there, he gets himself turned around and he's not able to find that ball.
4 receivers set here on 3rd and 9. Roselli the shotgun snap. It's play action. Blitzer comes in. Roselli, can he dance again? Fakes the pass out twice. Gets the corner. Gets the first down past the 20. Welcome to the Sam Roselli drive. He runs it for another vinyl outlet first down.
He kept trying to tell Danny Russell, give me a block, and Russell was waiting for the pass. And Roselli gets another first down with his feet here. Take a look. He covers a lot of ground here. He just has that opening, and he's just trying to freeze that DB just for a minute. And he does, and gets the first down. Back-to-back great runs by Sam Roselli.
Keeps this Raiders drive alive. Similar formation with Roselli in the shotgun. And before the snap, a false start.
Playing on the field is a false start against Fairport.
So we'll move Fairport back 5.
So Johnny Russell, he was coming in motion, and he turned upfield right before the ball was snapped. He did that in the previous play. They didn't call it, but this time they caught him.
Legal in the CFL.
It is legal in the CFL, but not in this part.
Pretty close. Kind of feels like a Canadian night right now in the low 40s.
So Fairport, 5 penalties for 26 yards.
Yeah, we saw a lot of flags fly in that first half. Multiple dead ball personal foul penalties on Fairport when they were down early by 2 touchdowns. 3 receivers to the right of Roselli, but he looks to his left, and it's caught just short of the 15-yard line. It's Johnny Russell once again with the reception.
So they got about 7 yards back on 1st and 15. And that's the play that's been working for them. They've been feeding that play on these last 2 drives, the one before the half and the one right now. getting Johnny Russell 6-7 yards off the line of scrimmage, just getting some chunk plays here.
Both Russell and Roselli were honored before the game on senior night. This could be their last game here at Fairport High School on this beautiful turf. Roselli the snap, going to the end zone. It's Russell, head high catch, touchdown. 2 flags come out in the back corner. We saw a play very similar to this at the end of the first half, in which it was called a defensive pass interference. But right now, Fairport is not celebrating. This could be offensive.
No, this is offensive pass interference. Russell absolutely pushed off to get himself some space on that play.
Fairport starts walking back.
Pass interference on the offense. Repeat second down.
Yeah, that was the right call. Mike Wayne right there, not very happy, but that is the correct call. Take a look at this again. And I don't know if you're going to see, yep, you're going to see it right here. See that push right there? Just pushes the defender with 2 hands. He didn't push him a lot, but just enough to create a little bit of separation to make the catch. And that is textbook offensive pass interference.
The DB on the play is senior Darkeen Wyndham Jr. Not only does he have 27 tackles, but he has 3 interceptions and 2 passes defended. So Johnny Russell trying to get an advantage on an excellent DB. Second and forever. Early flag, and the pass is incomplete. Danny Russell on a wheel route didn't look back for the ball. However, a flag came out right as the ball was snapped.
Yeah, I believe this is going to be on Fairport again. This is just going to push them back even farther.
5 in the backfield on the offense. Repeat second down.
An illegal formation call on the Red Raiders. And we just heard a Fairport fan say, hey, keep on to those flags, because the stripes have been thrown at. However, both teams have made mistakes like these throughout the game that are very easy to spot.
They certainly have, but now the problem is for Fairport, this is second down at 28.
Yikes. Yeah, that first down marker is at the 9-yard line.
Well,
So,
and McQuaid declined the penalty, so it's now third down and 28.
they take a down away from Fairport. Roselli catches it with one hand, flat-footed. Sprints to his left. Might not be able to run for this one. He does scramble, and he's pushed out of bounds.
And Thomas Bailey was the one there to knock him out of bounds. So this sets up a fourth down and, let's see, probably
way too long.
23 yards. But you're at the 28-yard line. I mean, this is a little bit far for a field goal. So you're going to go for this.
Yeah, we haven't seen either kicker attempt a field goal attempt today. Just the 3 extra point attempts, 2 by McQuaid, 1 by Fairport.
Yeah, this
So
would be
they're going for it.
Yeah, this would be a 50-yard field goal if they tried it.
4 receivers on fourth down and forever. It's Roselli. Gets rid of it to Russell in the end zone. Overthrown. Turnover on downs. McQuaid stays in the lead.
And Russell was wide open on that play. And remember, on this drive, there's 2 plays that Russell was wide open and the ball was overthrown. And here he's talking to the official looking for a flag, and the official's saying, no, not this time.
Russell was a victim of pass interference on that drive. He benefited from a DPI call that resulted in a touchdown at the end of the first half. Stay tuned to later in tonight's game, as we'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game presented by NHTSA. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Paid for by NHTSA. The green light for the McQuaid offense begins with a handoff to Ian Lanahan, close to the first down marker. Well, that might be the stop of the game that we just saw right there. It wasn't necessarily a McQuaid stop. It was more Fairport shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, but in essence, the defense got themselves off the field. They got the offense back on. And a nice run right there by Lanahan on first down. He got a nice block by Bianchi right in front of him to set up a second down and short. And so we've seen from McQuaid, ever since that first possession, they have not attempted.
The military base formation works again as Thomas Bailey tiptoes down the far sideline. Final outlet first down, their first for McQuaid in this quarter.
And he had an opportunity to break that had he not gone out of bounds. He was trying to keep his feet in bounds, but he gets it to the 49-yard line. So a nice gain. Take a look at this end zone view, and as he turns the corner, just turns it a little bit wide. And if he's able to cut that a little bit sharper, he might still be running.
If anything, it's a first down at midfield for McQuaid, and they give it back to Bailey. Rushing to that left side, and he's dragged down at the 45. Tackle made by Brian Barbita, who's a senior DB and wide receiver, but Barbita has not touched the rock today.
Yeah, a little bit surprised that he hasn't seen the ball on offense, even just to switch it up, because they've been focusing so much on Russell. But this is a 7-yard gain on first down, and we talked about the success of that right side of the offensive line. Now here on this possession, 2 carries off the left side of the offensive line have gone for big gains. So as much as the right side was working, now they're working that left side.
Another second down and 3, and another play with a handoff to Bailey. He's got the first down at the 40-yard line on that short run. Final outlet's getting a lot of play here in this quarter because both teams are really moving the ball and resetting those chains.
Well, and this time he hits that seam up the middle. He was going left. This time he goes up the middle and gets positive yards, and now we see that McQuaid offense. They're getting that good push by the offensive line. They're getting 6-7 yards per carry here.
In McQuaid's last win against Pittsford, they really chewed the clock. They don't run it here. It's a wide open catch inside the red zone. Touchdown, McQuaid! They fake the run and throw it for a touchdown to Christian Jordan.
Christian Jordan just slipped out. They lulled him to sleep with the run. And then Gavin Vanderwall lofts it up, 40-yard pass play for the McQuaid touchdown.
Fairport guest run. They went down on the right stick. And a wide open Jordan flying down the sidelines makes it a 2-score game. Reed Wilson for the PAT, and it is good. The third American Customs Exteriors and Interiors touchdown, the home improvement company that cares, for McQuaid, as the Knights are rolling in Fairport, doing anything they want.
Every child deserves a safe, loving home. At Families Thrive, we connect children with the foster and adoptive families who can change their lives forever. On November 1st, join us for the Families Thrive Gala. Together, we'll celebrate the power of family and raise critical funds to support children in need. Get your tickets, make a donation, and help every child find their forever home. Because when families thrive, children thrive.
Let's take a look at our Families Thrive scoring summary for the last drive. 5 plays, 72 yards. McQuaid brings in its backup throwing quarterback, Gavin Vanderwall. As Fairport thought McQuaid was running it again in the triple option, they throw a 40-yard bomb to Christian Jordan to make this a 2-score game.
Yeah, just a very smart play call by the McQuaid offense right there. They kind of lulled them into run. So they all cheated up, and they slipped Jordan out and got in the pass play.
Now what we saw there in the break, Fairport players on the sidelines still trying to rile up the crew on the near sideline after a play like that has really silenced the fans at Fairport High School. The return starts inside the 20. A nice hole brings it out near the 40. Excellent return by Danny Stephanie, the senior wideout and defensive back. First time we've mentioned his name today.
Yeah, this is important for Fairport. So let's take a look at that touchdown play one more time. Just a great pass play. And excuse me, check that. That was Harrison Engel that threw the ball, not Vanderwall. It was Engel And you see just completely caught Fairport off guard on that for the 40-yard pass play. Just a smart play call because you and I, we just talked about, we said they haven't thrown a pass since the first drive.
Right.
They're not going to throw the ball. And what do? They throw the ball.
And they have not thrown with Harrison Engel. That's why we assumed it was Gavin Vanderwall. Engel, 1-for-1 passing for 40 yards and a touchdown. That's quite an efficient passer rating. So Fairport trying to answer, and the throw to the trusty target, Johnny Russell. Flag on the play at the start, and McQuaid wants one at the end as Russell kind of shoved off the DB out of bounds.
Yeah, this isn't a defensive backfield. I don't know if this is going to be pass interference on McQuaid again, but the play results in a nice gain for Fairport.
The face mask gets the defense 5 yards. We're going to tack it on to the end of the run.
So the 5-yard face mask at the end of the run. This will give Fairport a first down.
So a face mask at the college and NFL level is a 15-yard personal foul. It's 5 yards in high school, but the similarity is it's an automatic first down. The final outlet first down on the first play of the new drive for Fairport, and bring those 5 yards right back. McQuaid saying that it's on Fairport. Fairport saying it's on McQuaid. And now
it looked like the Fairport left guard false started, but now this conversation, was he drawn off?
Fairport's already put the reverse gear on. McQuaid is locked in park.
Disconcerting act against the defense. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty, be a first down.
Wow. A disconcerting act by McQuaid. Moves the ball 5 yards up. That's 10 free yards for the Fairport Red Raiders, and they're in McQuaid territory.
Yeah, that was interesting because certainly take a look and see what McQuaid did to. I'm not sure what McQuaid did on that one because 76 was certainly started early, but I didn't see. It must have been something off our camera screen that got him to jump.
Or it was something said.
Or it could have been something, yep.
Regardless now, it is a first down and 5 incompletion to create second down and 5 after they tried to get Johnny Russell. You know, perhaps McQuaid was trying to say hike or, start the offense going. That is a common disconcerting foul.
Yeah, they must have been messing with the snap count, and that's what got the flag called.
But at any length, McQuaid gets the stop and first down, so it's 2nd and 5. Roselli gets the snap, 5-step drop, scanning, nowhere to go, scrambles. He's really good at this. Dances by one, dashes past another, and he picks up a first down. Wow, Sam Roselli is an absolute weapon.
And you see he keeps that hand in the air to fake that he's throwing the ball just to keep that defense honest. And he's able to freeze Bianchi here for just a second. Watch as he rolls out. He scrambles. Comes 24. Here's Bianchi. Just freezes him just for a moment. And that allows him to cut up field and get that first down.
And after that run, he did a little Jonathan Taylor celebration with the stutter step because he's really feeling himself rushing the football today. A new set of sticks here for Fairport after the vinyl outlet run, or rather the run creates a vinyl outlet first down. Play action. Slips the pass to Johnny Russell. At the numbers, stays on his feet, and he's turned down. The tackle made by Charlie Meyer, senior DB for McQuaid.
Yeah, he doesn't get a whole lot on this, but he's trying to move that upfield. And you mentioned Charlie Meyer just wrapped him up and would not let go.
Getting to the late stages here in this third quarter. Joe Puccio and Brendan McDaniels with you. We've seen one touchdown in this quarter. McQuaid with a passing touchdown for the first time today on its only drive of this third quarter.
Let's see if they run the ball here just to change things up a little bit.
It'll be a pass. Unless Roselli scrambles. Tried to find a lane. He's got nowhere to go. Still backpedaling. Roselli Spins, still on his feet. He's in Fairport territory. He gets smacked down. McQuaid jumps on the ball. What do they say?
No,
they
it's
say
down.
he was down.
It's down.
He's sacked,
and
Roselli is still down on the field. He got walloped on the near sideline, currently getting his left leg stretched out.
What
a terrible moment.
Looked like he fell on his shoulder, too.
That's a lesson.
It's a huge loss on that play. They were at the 37-yard line.
We will step aside here for a moment at the 2:33 mark. Injury timeout on the field here at Fairport.
Allendale Columbia School provides a student-centered, engaging, and safe environment that inspires a love of learning and helps your child discover their potential to make a positive impact on the world. At Allendale Columbia School, we turn passion into purpose and curiosity into curriculum. Learn more about Allendale Columbia School at allendaleColumbia.org. Allendale Columbia, first here, then anywhere.
Exclusively brought to you by Colin the Plumber. 21-6, Wade in front, 2:33 left in the third. Just had an injury timeout to starting quarterback Sam Roselli as he was backed up all the way from the opposing 38 to his own 42. Roselli currently injured, he's on the sidelines, and now we're seeing backup quarterback Shane Illingworth.
Illingworth coming in on a 3rd and 30. They lost 21 yards on that last play. So it looks like they're short one player. So we get someone on late.
Illingworth is in the gun. He's going to throw it. Caught right at the line of scrimmage. It's Danny Russell. Trucks a linebacker. It's the ball back into Knights territory, but nowhere close to a first down. Here's Roselli here on the sidelines. He's working on the left half. You see there, he's got the helmet in his hand, stretching out. Maybe this is a good sign for Fairport.
Yeah, they hope that he can come back, but it's 4th down and 19. And it looks like they're going to go for it here, at least initially.
They break the huddle with 4 receivers. McQuaid fans are making noise on the far side. 4th down and 19. The backup quarterback, shotgun snap. His head's on a swivel, runs out to the left side, almost brought down, stays on his feet, and he's dropped inside the 35. Excellent field position here for McQuaid, already up 2 scores.
There is a flag on the field. We got to hold on.
On the offense, the penalties declined.
So it'll be 1st down McQuaid. And they get great field position, Joe. So a turnover on downs, another turnover forced by that McQuaid defense.
That is the 3rd turnover of the day for the Red Raiders. Back-to-back plays where Fairport loses over 15 yards with a quarterback trying to keep the play alive.
Yeah, John Zakari, the sophomore linebacker, is the one that makes the sack. And I mean, McQuaid, if they score here, they could potentially put this game out of reach here.
McQuaid won its first game of the season last week. They have built momentum to have a 2-score lead against the number 3 team in Class AA. Ian Lanahan with a hole. Close to the 1st down marker. Gain of about 8 on 1st down. It's been the 2 backs, Thomas Bailey and Ian Lanahan, both with touchdowns today, both with over 50 yards rushing.
Yeah, they've done a nice job of really mixing up Bailey and Lanahan. And, of course, the one big pass play that we saw on that last possession. And they've really, give it credit to this offensive line. This offensive line has done a really good job of pushing that line forward and letting these guys get 5, 6, 7 yards per carry to continually move the chains.
It's this triple option offense that you need to have two solid running backs, and McQuaid has had that production today. Lanahan gets the rock again, totes it into the red zone. A vinyl outlet first down for McQuaid gets them inside the Tim Hortons red zone. So Lanahan's been the back predominantly on long distance plays. When McQuaid gets the ball close to the goal line, that's when they bring out the 6-foot, 180-pound Thomas Bailey, who is 50 pounds heavier and 3 inches taller. What a day it's been for Bobby Bates and company. The McQuaid fans standing ovation for their team. However, there's still 12 minutes left in this ball game. We'll see if the Fairport fans can do the same and rile up their team. It's McQuaid 21, Fairport 6, and our play in that third quarter, a touchdown pass from Harrison Engel. Folks, he's 1 for 1 for 40 yards and a touchdown. That's McQuaid offense in a nutshell.
Every child deserves a safe, loving home. At Families Thrive, we connect children with the foster and adoptive families who can change their lives forever. On November 1st, join us for the Families Thrive Gala. Together, we'll celebrate the power of family and raise critical funds to support children in need. Get your tickets, make a donation, and help every child find their forever home. Because when families thrive, children thrive.
The colder months are around the corner. Is your home ready? For a limited time, Stellar is offering 50% off the cost of labor for a full roofing, windows, siding, or insulation project. Our team delivers industry-leading craftsmanship backed by a top-tier warranty and hundreds of 5-star reviews. Don't wait until the snow and ice cause costly damage. Act now and take advantage of this exclusive offer. When quality counts, call Stellar Roofing. Proud partner of the Buffalo Bills.
When you're in the middle of something special, the last thing you want is to lose power. Enjoy safety, comfort, and the power of those special moments uninterrupted with a Cummins Quiet Connect home standby generator.
Are you ready?
So you can carry on doing what matters most.
Yes!
Cummins.
It's been an epic journey for the superheroes of dirt. And this is the title ride. This Saturday, the world's best storm into Vegas for the PBR Teams Championship.
It's not over yet.
A weekend of all-out war. Winner takes all.
That is how you become a legend.
The PBR Camping World Team Series Championship.
Saturday on CW Rochester.
We're starting the fourth quarter here at Fairport High School, and we would be starving right now if it weren't for Chick Magnet, our food sponsor of the game today. Visit them at chickmagnetchicken.com or their locations in Penfield and Henrietta. Joe Puccio and Brendan McDaniels with you, two guys who had a little chicken before the game today. McQuaid right now hungry for its second straight win and their second win overall in the season. First play of this fourth quarter, inside the Tim Hortons red zone is a handoff, but whistles come in before the snap.
So false start on McQuaid. So push them back 5 yards.
We've seen the pink flags thrown by these referees a lot today. No yellow flags. I know we talked about this in the first half, but it's stunning. I've never seen penalty flags not the color yellow.
You learn something new every day.
I guess so. It's a magenta-ish color. It's allowed, though. First down and 15, a handoff to Lanahan, and he is brought down at the line of scrimmage. Fairport's defensive line comes screaming in. The tackle made by James Kester, the senior defensive end, who is the starting running back for Fairport, Ball's been taken out of his hands today because the game script needed Fairport to throw the ball. But defensively, he's been a game wrecker.
Yeah, he absolutely has. He's been making plays after plays, and now you set up the 2nd down and 15, no gain on that play. And this is a crucial time for this Fairport defense because you've got to hold serve here. You can't allow a score by McQuaid.
Coming into the game, Fairport's head coach Mike Wayne told us that McQuaid's offense is so deadly. They have to get a stop here. The Knights lean on their top back, Thomas Bailey, who gets close to the original line of scrimmage.
And Kester is there again to make a tackle. So they get a couple yards on that, but now you come up with a very crucial 3rd down play for this defense. It's 3rd down and about 12. And you know McQuaid's going to go for it on 4th down, so it's important not to give up a lot of yards on this play. Don't make it 4th and easy for McQuaid.
We saw in this down and distance in the last quarter, McQuaid throw a touchdown out of this formation. Fairport crowds the box on 3rd and 12. The give to Lanahan, up the middle, brought down, straight on his backside. Yet another tackle by Josh Craddock, the junior linebacker.
What a game Josh Craddock has had. Every time they've needed a crucial stop, he's been right there. So this sets up 4th down and 10. They got 2 yards on that play. And take a look at it again. And look at this penetration that he gets. He sheds 2 offensive linemen and gets right in that backfield.
4th and 10 here for the Knights. Engel under center. Fakes the give, runs to the left side, he's got room. Flag comes in as Engel is pushed out of bounds at the 5. That could be a holding call on McQuaid to bring that great gain back. Might have been made a great gain because of a hold.
Yeah, Thomas Bailey immediately put his hands on his helmet. He realized that his team committed an infraction, and that one's coming back.
How about that play design, though? We have not seen a quarterback keeper by McQuaid today, along with very few passing plays. Engel kept it.
We have a hold on the offense. We're going to be going back.
Simple enough.
And you saw that naked bootleg by Engel, and there you go, right there. There's your hold. Hold on against Kester, and now you really set up an interesting opportunity now for McQuaid.
It wipes out a 1st and goal inside the 10, Brendan. And even if Kester wasn't held on that play, McQuaid might have had a 1st down.
And Vanderwaal's coming in. He's their passing quarterback.
Even though Harrison Engel's 1 for 1 for 40 yards and a touchdown. Vanderwaal in the shotgun. Takes the snap. 3-step drop. Steps up, throws back in the end zone, and it's batted down, incomplete. Smart play by John Russell in the end zone. Instead of catching it to get the ball at the 20, he swats it down, and Fairport gets the ball on their own 29 after the turnover on downs.
And that's a smart play by Russell. Here's Vanderwaal going for it. His receiver is never actually open. C.J. Nicholson is who he's looking for, was never open because even though he beat his cornerback, Russell was playing that safety position and immediately was able to shift over. And so now Fairport with 9:42, they've got a new lease on life now.
McQuaid very smart offensively, even though that was an incompletion. Getting the ball out quickly has been their MO today. What has hurt Fairport is trying to extend plays. Its quarterback, Sam Roselli, was hurt by trying to extend a play on 3rd and forever, but it's good to see that he is back in the game. This will be the first snap he takes after hurting his left calf at the end of the 3rd quarter. 3 receivers to the right of Roselli, who fakes the screen pass, but doesn't have anyone. Jump pass, caught by Russell. Spins at the hashes, and he's tackled at the 35. Well, it looked like it would have been nothing for Fairport, but they get a solid gain of about 6-7 yards.
He had Brian Barbita wide open. He ran a little skinny post route right into the middle of the field, and he didn't see him, but he gets it to his safety valve, Russell. That's who he's been hitting all night long.
Roselli on 2nd and 4. Looking for his tight end, Sullivan. It's caught for his first catch of the day. Motors up towards midfield. It takes 3 Knights to bring him down after Sullivan picks up a Cummins home power generator. First down.
Yeah, Ryan Sullivan, he's a nice big sized tight end. Excellent two-way player. His 5.5 sacks and a fumble recovery for a touchdown on defense. Now gets himself involved in this offensive set.
The third different receiver targeted today by Fairport, and they've been a pass-heavy offense in this game. New set of sticks here. Roselli fakes the throw, scrambles up the middle, now backpedals. He can still throw if he wants. Roselli now runs past the 50. First down and more. Roselli gets a block, and he's tackled inside the 35. Sam Roselli making something out of nothing for a Cummins first down. Now, time is stopped for a moment as there is an injured offensive lineman. Brenner Patterson, the left tackle, was down at the end of that play.
Take a look at this play by Roselli. He's just weaving in and out of traffic. Back and forth he goes. He made something out of nothing. He almost got dropped for about a 3 or 4 yard loss, and he turns that into a 20-plus yard gain.
So with an injury timeout, we'll step aside here from Fairport High School. Final 8.5 to go with the Red Raiders on offense, trailing by 2 scores on the law offices of William Mattar. Friday Night Rivals, driven by Bob Johnson Automotive.
Allendale Columbia School provides a student-centered, engaging, and safe environment that inspires a love of learning and helps your child discover their potential to make a positive impact on the world. At Allendale Columbia School, we turn passion into purpose and curiosity into curriculum. Learn more about Allendale Columbia School at allendalecolumbia.org. Allendale Columbia, first here, then anywhere.
Injury timeout wrapped up here at Fairport High School. The home Red Raiders humming on offense. First down and 10 in enemy territory. Sam Roselli, the trusted quarterback, to throw again. Goes to the near sideline. It is incomplete. A McQuaid corner and safety collided at the 5-yard line. Had that catch been made by Darquin Wyndham Jr., it more than likely would have ended the game.
Or Ace Erdman, they both had their hands on that ball, and I don't think they realized that they were teammates. They were fighting each other for the ball, and neither one of them comes down with it. Take a look at this again as Roselli is trying to go for it all, and you see both of those guys had their hands on that ball, and neither of them haul it in as he was looking for Sullivan, the big tight end, on that.
Second down, Roselli spins, fumbles, fallen on by a Red Raider. It's the offensive lineman that jumps on the loose ball to keep the rock in Fairport possession.
Brody McDonald is the one that falls on that for the Red Raiders. Brings up third down and long. We'll take a look at this again out of the shotgun, and Roselli holding that thing out like a loaf of bread.
It is so remarkable how Roselli looked like he was going to scramble on that all the way, then takes one step back, and he evaded the 2 tacklers, but did lose the football. Third down and really long here for the Red Raiders, who have been good on third down today. It's 3rd and 15. The game is about to be on the line here for Fairport. Roselli, 3-step drop, does that infamous backpedal once again. He's in his own territory. 3 players in front of him. Dances by them all. Roselli to run. Loses the ball. Punched out by McQuaid. And the Knights jump on it for the moment. Ball is being fought for. And it's pointed towards the Black Knights.
Charlie Meyer, number 10, the senior defensive back, was the one that got his hands on the ball.
What a day it's been for McQuaid, forcing its 4th turnover of the night.
And Roselli is down on the field. We'll take a look at it again. Roselli gets himself in trouble. You see, he's just got that ball. He's holding it like a loaf of bread. And getting the pursuit from behind, and a nice punch out by John Zakari.
Wow.
And Charlie Meyer is the one that comes up with it for the Knights.
How about Charlie Meyer jumping over Roselli to go hop on that loose football? McQuaid is not playing like a 1-6 football team today.
No, and that's what. And when we talked to Mike Wayne earlier this week, he said, "Yes, we understand what their record is, but we can't think of them as a 1-6 team. They are just as dangerous, regardless of what their record is."
Now, Roselli was injured on that play as he is being helped up to his feet. Second time he was down with an injury today. Roselli has been battered and bruised, but he has fought through all the pain on potentially his last start at Fairport High School.
Yeah, he's really just been trying to do it all tonight and got himself into some trouble, and he was able to get out, and just a beautiful strip from behind by John Zakari.
Tonight's closed captioning is exclusively brought to you by Colin the Plumber. So, Brendan, now McQuaid is in a position just like it was last week. Now, a week ago, the Knights won by a touchdown over the Panthers of Pittsford. But in that game, McQuaid ran the ball, chewed the clock, controlled the game. It felt like McQuaid's been doing that all day long, but now they can really put away these final 7 minutes by doing what they're really good at doing. That's running the football.
And that's what they're going to do. They're going to run the football and chew the clock.
Lanahan with two hands on the rock gets it up close to a first down. Tackled just near the hash to keep that clock running. Gain of 9.
Gained about 9 yards on the play, sets up a 2nd down and 1. And with the play clock, they're going to use all the play clock. Don't think that they're going to snap the ball with more than 5 seconds left in the play clock. Right now there's 25 seconds on the play clock. They're going to be able to chew another 20 seconds off of this and snap this ball around 6:15 or so, as Lanahan has 18 carries now for 84 yards and a touchdown as he's closing in on 100. So they're going to snap this at about 6:12 here.
3 on the play clock, down to 2, and a give to Lanahan will reset the sticks.
And a missed tackle allows McQuaid to get that first down, and you can hear that McQuaid sideline now. They're starting to feel it because now there's a late flag that comes out, and this might be another personal foul on Fairport.
It was Elijah McDouglas, the junior DB, getting after it with a McQuaid wide receiver, and a lot of the Knights are waving goodbye to Elijah McDouglas.
Dead ball, personal foul against Red. Dead ball, personal foul.
So add another 15 yards for McQuaid.
And these are anger penalties. Fairport had a lot of these in the first quarter. You kind of saw it there at the top of the screen a little bit. Players getting after it.
So just a little push by Danny Russell at the end. It gives McQuaid now a first down at the Fairport 40-yard line.
Now, if we can shift our focus here to McQuaid for a second. When we were talking with head coach Bobby Bates prior to the game today, he talked about the tradition of this club and how his team is built. Almost had a first down and 10 snap at the moment, but now they'll run the clock here. 25 seconds on the play clock and 6 minutes on the game clock. They snap it right at the start of the play clock and get just about 5 or 6 yards on that play to set up 2nd down and mid. But what Coach Bates told us was that he doesn't put the 11 best players on the field. He puts the best 11 players that work together on the field. How would you assess the way this offense has been working as a unit today?
Well, this 11 has been outstanding, and particularly that offensive line. Let's give a shout out to this offensive line. Xavier Mendola, Joe DeMarco, Antonio Darren, Tanner Natapow, Devin Harima, and the tight end Gianni Hahn. They have done a really good job of setting the line of scrimmage throughout this game. And this group has worked so well after that first possession. They have done a really great job, all 11 of them.
Trevor Bailey gets the pill down to about the 30, and once again Elijah McDouglas tackles a defensive back. McQuaid wants another personal foul on number 12 for Fairport, but the referees did not see it.
I mean, you take a look at this offensive line for McQuaid. They're not big, but they make their blocks. They're disciplined. They open up the holes where they're supposed to for their running backs.
Now, there's really only one offensive lineman that has a D3 build, if you will. There are no D1 builds on this line. And in fact, Xavier Mendoza, one of the top offensive linemen on this team, is only 5'8", 165 pounds.
Yeah, he's the center right there.
3rd and 1 here for McQuaid. Bailey's got it. Some space, a hole inside the 20, down at the 15. McQuaid is back in the Tim Hortons red zone on a Cummins first down, and that clock will run once the ball is spotted.
Just take a look at this again, just an inside handoff. Beautiful blocks by the offensive line, also by Jake Mansour and Dominic Bianchi. They're also part of that triple option formation back there. Everybody had a helmet on a helmet. They cleared some space for Thomas Bailey to get through, and he has a big run to set up a first down at the 15.
McQuaid gets the play in with 10 seconds on the play clock, and now they break the huddle. First down and 10. The give to Bailey. Runs to the left side. Tackled immediately by Josh Craddock.
You see Bailey on that last run went over 100 yards for the day. Lanahan with 87 yards.
So as we await this second down snap here by McQuaid, let's take a look at our Ide Family Dealerships play of the game. There's a lot to choose from, but on the McQuaid side, the passing touchdown by Harrison Engel, the only throw that Engel's had today, gave McQuaid its 21st point of the game.
Yeah, and that one really just took the sails out of Fairport on that play, because we all thought they were just going to keep pounding the rock.
And so did
they
Fairport.
Surprised everybody on that.
Ian Lanahan trying to have a late surprise. He's still on his feet, and he spun down inside the 5-yard line for a Cummins generator first down.
I mean, McQuaid is going to have two players with about 100 yards rushing, which is crazy.
I mean, if you're a team that runs the triple option, that's a winning formula. You need to have two backs that, with one, is definitely has to be past the century mark. You're lucky if a second running back gets there too, but that second running back has to be a dominant rusher. And McQuaid, with both of their rushers at 100-plus yards, they each have a touchdown. If you had the McQuaid running backs on your fantasy team today, you're getting a lot of good production out of them.
Yeah, you absolutely
I bet you a lot of these guys love the production they're seeing out of their running backs. The McQuaid student fans have been loud on that sideline, and they are loud as McQuaid continues to get closer and closer to the end zone. Second down and goal coming up for McQuaid Jesuit as the clock continues to run. Folks, make sure to stick with us for our post-game show. Brennan will be down on the field interviewing the winning coach, which at the moment seems like it'll be Bobby Bates of McQuaid. And then our trophy presentation will immediately follow that. Second down and goal. McQuaid trying to put a stamp on this one. And Lanahan gets bottled up immediately. Crushed down by Danny Russell, the safety, to set up third and goal. Now, both teams have 3 timeouts. Fairport's not using them. McQuaid won't use them because they want this clock to keep running. Fairport players on the sideline just shaking their head, looking up to the sky at the moment. Third down and goal, inside the 5. Engel the snap, keeps it himself, rushes to the left side, and he's tackled. Stop made by Brian Barbita, the senior DB. The play clock is currently off, and the game clock is under 40 seconds, which means that McQuaid does not need to snap the ball. The Fairport coaches have taken off the headset. The McQuaid Jesuit Knights fans are celebrating, and McQuaid's already lined up at the 50, celebrating their second win in a row and second win of the season. The Knights go into the sectional playoffs with 2 straight wins and a 21-6 victory over Fairport on the road. Bobby Bates's unit comes up with a monumental win, spoiling Fairport's senior night here at home. Folks, do not go anywhere. Our post-game coverage continues right after this as McQuaid beats Fairport 21-6 on the law offices of William Matar Friday Night Rivals, driven by Bob Johnson Automotive Group.
Every child deserves a safe, loving home. At Families Thrive, we connect children with the foster and adoptive families who can change their lives forever. On November 1st, join us for the Families Thrive Gala. Together, we'll celebrate the power of family and raise critical funds to support children in need. Get your tickets, make a donation, and help every child find their forever home. Because when families thrive, children thrive.
Always stop when the stop arm is out. Don't be the reason they miss their moment. Stop means stop.
Colin, smile over here. Colin the plumber, you just finished a tough plumbing job. How'd you pull off the win?
Man, that clog was a monster. Toilet paper, roots, wipes, you name it. It was in that line. Defense came out pretty strong, but we had a great offensive plan. Busted out the camera. We even had to break out the hydrojetter just to put a little bit more pressure on it. Most other plumbing companies would have fumbled, but for us, every day is game day. We don't fold under pressure. We're just the best in the biz. True, 24/7 service. Colin the plumber.
This is the 2026 Nissan Rogue. With a 12.3-inch touch display, it's the most powerful Rogue ever. And has 225 pound-feet of torque. That's a lot of torque. Go Rogue in the 2026 Nissan Rogue. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality. Now get a low $239 per month lease or get 1.9% APR financing for 60 months on Rogue.
The National News Desk. Unbiased, fact-based news.
The cartel strictly controls who comes across the border.
Choose America's News now.
It doesn't cover all baby foods.
Each weekday morning from the National News Desk.
The National News Desk, weekday morning 6 till 10 on CW Rochester.
NXT superstars, we all have a little dog in us.
It's about putting smiles on people's faces.
Tuesday at 8 on CW Rochester.
What a win for the McQuaid Jesuit Knights. 21-6 final score. McQuaid has won back-to-back games heading into the sectional playoff with a 21-6 win over Fairport. Let's take a look at the stop of the game, the school bus stop of the game, and it came on McQuaid's defense. An interception by Jashawn Cotto. The sophomore safety makes an excellent play.
This is the school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
So Jashawn Cotto comes up with a massive pick, ball thrown in triple coverage, but it's the sophomore safety who made the stop, brings the ball all the way inside the 15-yard line, and sets up McQuaid's offense.
This is the school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
That is our NHTSA school bus stop of the game. Always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Not stopping or trying to beat the stop arm puts lives at risk and can result in large fines, points on your license, and license suspension. Paid for by NHTSA. All right, let's go down on the field now with Brendan as he is talking to the winning team.
Thanks a lot, Joe. It's never a good idea to put an Aquinas guy in the middle of a bunch of McQuaid guys, but these guys don't care because they just ended their regular season with a big W. Coach Bates, when we talked to you earlier this week, you said that you wanted to control the clock and control the ball. After that first possession, your guys did exactly that.
No doubt. They did a great job in the first half, but we really shows what we did in the last drive there. Like, we got that ball back, and we just were able to maintain the clock, manage the clock the whole time, and be able to run it out. Like, that's a great way to end a football game.
And, Coach, you got to give props to your offensive line and your tight end. They were putting up big holes all night long for your running backs.
Absolutely. And I know the running backs, the first credit they're going to give is to that O-line. So they did a great job. It was awesome. Guys were finding seams. Guys were blocking downfield. It was a battle in there, and they did a great job.
To talk about the touchdown pass, because at that moment in the game, even we were saying they're pounding the ball. They're going to run it. They're going to run it. Even Fairport, they're inching up, and you call the pass play. Take us through the thought process of that, because nobody in the stadium knew that was coming.
Well, it was just, we saw what their corner was doing. He was just biting down on everything. We just waited for the perfect time to throw it. That's all. Just had to set it up.
And, Coach, like I said, when we talked to you earlier in this week, you said that it's important for teams to play their best football between Halloween and Thanksgiving. Your team's going into sectionals with back-to-back wins, and this is a team that nobody's going to want to face in sectionals.
Well, hope so. Let's get back to work on Monday and then get after it, because now it's sectional time and new season. Everybody's 0-0 now. So real proud of these guys and the way they did. They went about their business, but let's play our best football now.
Well, McQuaid is certainly playing their best football now, and you know what? They're getting this nice trophy. This is for you guys.
Well, it is good to see that Brendan McDaniels got out of that scrum as the McQuaid Knights celebrate their final win of the regular season. They go to 2-6 on the year, but they're 2-0 in their last two. And as you just heard from Coach Bates, everyone's now 0-0 as the regular season comes to an end. All of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners, Law Offices of William Mattar, Bob Johnson Automotive Group, and Stellar Roofing, who through their contributions to the program make these games possible for you viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsor supporters for their contributions to our 2025 Friday Night Rivals telecasts. The Vinyl Outlet, Cummins Generator, John Wright Law Firm, BF&R Fence, Tim Hortons, Families Thrive, the Ide family of dealerships, American Customs Exteriors and Interiors, Colin the Plumber, Allendale Columbia School, and NHTSA, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support, McQuaid Jesuit High School and our host, Fairport High School. And also, a massive thank you to our entire crew for yet another fantastic season of Friday Night Rivals. Thank you so much for all of your work this fall. With our director, Eric Carpy, my broadcast partner, Brendan McDaniels, I am Joe Puccio, signing off from Fairport High School, where on senior night for the Red Raiders, Fairport comes up short. A 21-6 win for McQuaid Jesuit in the final game of the regular season. This has been a presentation of the Law Offices of William Mattar, Friday Night Rivals, presented by the Bob Johnson Automotive Group. Enjoy sectionals, everybody.
When you're in the middle of something special, the last thing you want is to lose power. Enjoy safety, comfort, and the power of those special moments uninterrupted with a Cummins Quiet Connect home standby generator.
You ready?
So you can carry on doing what matters most.
Yes!
Cummins.
Hey Don, did you know that when a contractor offers you special financing, you're actually paying a fee for that?
I did not realize that.
And that fee actually gets added to your project cost.
All right, so what about these
Special offers and discounts, are they for real?
What do you think, Don? At American, we're upfront about your financing options, and we don't play games with deceptive discounts.
Now that sounds good to me.
Every child deserves a safe, loving home. At Families Thrive, we connect children with the foster and adoptive families who can change their lives forever. On November 1st, join us for the Families Thrive Gala. Together, we'll celebrate the power of family and raise critical funds to support children in need. Get your tickets, make a donation, and help every child find their forever home. Because when families thrive, children thrive.
At Comfort, we're more than just a window company. We're a window manufacturer. Windows handcrafted by Comfort employees, installed by Comfort employees, backed by our lifetime Comfort guarantee. Now that's single source satisfaction, and we're the only ones to offer it across New York State.
Upgrade now and save 10% with 0% financing and pay nothing until your project is installed.
All from the name you know, the people you trust. Visit comfortwindows.com and schedule your free estimate today.
Actor, blank Damon.
Matt.
I thought you might have used Matt Eisman as your Matt, but...
Weeknights at 5:30 on CW Rochester.